The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn are staying busy. The Jets have made several transactions. We break down the latest and what it means. Jeff Parles is back on the show, and Tyson Roush from Let's Talk Jets will join right after. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Wish it could have been a Jet, Fernando.
Let's see what happens.
What's your message to the Jet fans in New York?
Jets, Jets.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. We are presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make sure, if you haven't, you subscribe to our channel for live Jets talk Monday through Friday, a weekend show as well, all throughout the offseason. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now for the first time this offseason is a good friend of the show, a diehard fan of the Jets. He's a local sports radio legend now in Las Vegas. It's our guy, Jeff Parles. And Jeff, I mean, we'll talk about the move the Jets just made, signing another former Raider, but you get to watch Geno Smith up close again. Let's go, baby.
Let's see what version of Geno we get, my friend. that can work both ways, Jake Asman. Go work both ways. Good to be back, by the way. It's been a little bit. It's been a very, very active 48 hours for the Jets. And, there's only been one set of moves with one position that I really don't like. Other than that, a nice collection of solid small moves, which makes me think that the goal, it may be something that doesn't align with a lot of Jet fans here in 2026.
Interesting. I want you to hold that thought because we'll talk more about it. But let's get to the news that just broke literally seconds before I hit the go live button. The Jets have signed their replacement at left guard. The Jets are signing Dylan Parham to a 2-year deal worth up to $20 million. This, according to Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Parham is a true guard. He is someone that's been with the Raiders since he was drafted there in 2022. You watched him more than I have, but I texted one of my great friends who's a diehard Raiders fan, and he wrote, 3rd-round pick out of Memphis, solid O-lineman for the team, reliable, started for the Raiders every year since 2022. Pretty sure Pro Football Focus is high on him. Just a nice, reliable piece. Good signing by the Jets. And then I wrote to him, wait a second, I thought your offensive line was terrible in Vegas. That was a huge issue. And he wrote, their entire O-line did stink. He wasn't a John Spytek guy. That's the Raiders GM. I'll say 2025 was probably his worst year, but it was an overall O-line problem. Look, the Jets tried this with John Simpson a couple of years ago. It worked out great. Now they're trying it again with a different player who was drafted by the Raiders. So give me your initial reaction to this, Jeff, as the Jets now seemingly have their 5 projected starters in place ahead of the draft.
Well, you just said it. It just feels like the Simpson signing a few years ago, right? Like you get a reasonable starter, reasonable. I don't think he's high end. I don't think he's terrible. You replace Simpson, again, it kind of hurts that AVT left, but the Jets were never paying AVT that sort of money, and it didn't seem like AVT wanted to stick around anyway. I can't really blame him with all that guaranteed money the Patriots gave him. But look, for a guy who will probably start at that left guard position, this is fine. This is a reasonable deal. And Jake, I think the other thing too is you needed guys next to Myers who I think are going to be stable and healthy guys. Parham has stayed healthy most of his career. Obviously, Tippmann was healthy last year. So I think that's critical. Get the stable pieces at guard because, again, I thought Myers played a little bit better than we probably will see this year. But this is fine. Again, this fits the mold of what Muji has been doing. short contracts for reasonable money so far, where there's nothing that blows you out of the water cap-wise. And look, if Aaron Glenn only survives another year or two, you can kind of redo this all again in 2-3 years. So, again, nothing wrong with this. There's only been one position group that I have not liked what the Jets have done. Everything else, you can make the argument, all right, they're making the defense looks better. The O-line is going to be comparable to what it was a year ago. Totally fine. Solid signing.
The Jets staying busy today with their offensive line. They needed some depth. They're bringing back one of their own offensive tackle, Max Mitchell, signing back to the Jets on a 1-year deal. We don't know the exact details of the money, but it's obviously not a lot if Jeremy Fowler is getting the text from the agent to tweet it and there's no money listed. So you could understand it's a very low value 1-year deal, but Mitchell as a depth piece who could start in a worst case scenario, I'm fine with it. So you look at the O-line, Jeff, no Simpson. I think that was expected. He led the NFL in penalties. Fine, you move on. AVT got paid a ridiculous amount. I hate that he went to New England, but I understand it. But you look at the offensive line right now, obviously they got that 16th pick. They could take the stud Penn State guard if they wanted to. They could maybe take someone on day 2 where they have a second-round pick at 33 and 44. But overall, I like the fact that we feel pretty good about the 5 guys that are in place ahead of the draft. And the biggest issue Geno Smith had in Vegas was the Raiders had the worst offensive line in football. No matter how you feel about Eugene Smith being the Jet quarterback, he will be benefiting from a way better offensive line in 2026 than what he had in 2025.
Yeah, it's hard to get worse than what the Raiders were last year, offensive line-wise, Jake. So, yes, that is – and keep in mind, too, like, Geno never played behind a spectacular O-line in Seattle either. So this will be the best, one of the better lines he's played with since he's become a full-time starter again in the league. Again, Jake, I have no idea what Geno is at this point in his career. That's really what this whole thing comes down to. He's going to have better protection, assuming they stay healthy. Again, Jake, even though AVT got hurt before the year, didn't play a snap, the Jets had tremendous health for the guys that were there. Tremendous health last year on the offensive line. That's always a worry that you'll have regression to the mean and the negative on the offensive line with injuries. Look, even if you get 80% of that line, assuming that your tackles, Olu and Membu, hold up, this is good enough. This is more than good enough. And again, the thing with Myers is if he were to go down with an injury, Tippmann just slides over, plays center. You plug in another guy at right guard. You can go with it. So again, good unit. They were a very good unit last year, Jake. They were the only bright spot on the offense other than Breece Hall a year ago. And replacing Simpson with Parham is basically a net neutral. So good shape there.
We'll see if Vega Ione from Penn State ends up coming into play at pick 16.
Shock me.
Yeah. I mean, look, Josh Myers is fine if he's your worst offensive lineman, which he once again is. If you really want to have that super O-line, not just for Geno or maybe Ty Simpson or whoever this year, but beyond that, in all likelihood, the big swing they make at QB in 2027, you can't tell me that if you added Vega to that offensive line, you move Tippmann back to center, all of a sudden you're not cooking with real gas, assuming Olu and Membu continue their ascension to being really good tackles in the league. But we got some time to break that one down before the draft. Let's stay with some other transactional news that happened today. Then we'll go more in depth on the offseason in general. Sure. And if you're watching live, hit that like button. Our guy Jeff Parles is back on the show, and we certainly have a ton of Jets news to discuss. We also have an Asmaniac Madness battle that we will have some voting in today. The Lane Train is in action against Jams in the 3 versus 14 matchup. So that is an exciting region, an exciting battle that is coming your way when we open up poll voting in just a little bit. We'll get Jeff's thoughts on the Asmaniac Madness bracket as well. But all right, let's talk about the other moves that happened. And this is not a move the Jets made, but oh man, are Jet fans pumped. Michael Clemons, see ya. The Colts are signing Clemons to a 3-year, $17.5 million contract, upside to $18.5 million. See you later, Michael Clemons. Here's the best part about him going to the Colts. The Jets own the Colts. First-round pick, not just this year, but next year as well. So we get to hate watch Michael Clemons, hate watch Danny Dimes, and we get the root against the Colts, who also have our guy, Sauce Gardner. Your reaction to seeing Clemons actually getting a 3-year deal by another team in free agency?
Jake, I got a text from one of my best friends who's a Colts fan, and he asked me, how is Michael Clemons? And then my brain went to, oh my God, the Colts actually signed Michael Clemons. So I went to X and went to see what the deal was. And I'm like, oh my God, they gave him a 3-year contract. How could anyone have watched Clemons the last few years and not and even given him more than a 1-year like proven deal? And I texted my friend and I basically said, he's one of my least favorite Jets of all time. He's one of the dumbest players I've ever seen on the Jets. And he's not a good player. And my friend thought I was just trolling him. So thrilled. Jake, thrilled. This might be the best thing that's happened to the Jets all offseason. Period. Like, you got a guy who, again, it was stupid they kept him around last year. Also, like with the new regime, why would you have kept a guy like this around, played him the whole year? And it kind of showed how bad the defense was, that he actually was one of the better pieces by the end of the year. Just kind of showed how bad that defense had gotten. So this is good. Turn another page. It's the same deal with Quincy signing with the Browns the other day. Like, turn the page, get the guys out who either should never have been there in the first place, or the guys who shouldn't have been there anymore. Like Quincy, look, Quincy had a great 2-year run. There's no arguing that, Jake. Like, he was amazing 2 years ago. Like, he was incredible, but he wasn't anymore. And I thought his effort was terrible down the stretch last year. But Clemons, look, good riddance. See you later. Indy going 5-12 would be awesome, because then there's a possibility of the Jets having 2 top 10 picks next year, which, if you don't end up at number 1 with all those quarterback assets, having 2 high-end first-round picks could make it easier to go up to number 1 if you fall in love with Arch Manning next year.
Absolutely. And even if they can't get up to number 1, if you're in that range to get one of the quarterbacks, I know you never want to assume next year's class will be better, but I think it's fair to say the likelihood that there just has to be more than one obvious first-round quarterback a year from now. So I agree. And the Jets are set up. We get to root against the Colts and Michael Clemons now for another full season. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Doc Jet Fan checks in. If you didn't believe that America is the land of opportunity, $18 million for Michael Clemons just solidified it for me. I'll tell you what, we live in the best country in the universe.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Super chat of the day right there from Doc Jet Fan. He is spot on. I mean, Michael Clemons, unreal. The other transaction note I want to hit before we talk about some of the bigger moves the Jets have already made. They did add a kicker today. They signed Cade York to a 1-year deal. Jet fans, don't be alarmed. I know Cade York has not kicked in football the last 2 years. I fully expect the Jets to be having a full-on kicker competition. They'll add another kicker. And just like they found Austin McNamara out of nowhere, I will give Chris Banjo the benefit of the doubt, because he proved he's a real coach, that they will have a real plan at kicker. I wanted them to keep Nick Folk, but I'm not going to go nuts over Cade York, because I think they're going to add another kicker and have a true competition at that spot.
Yeah, this is the one position group I was talking about that I haven't liked what they've done, because losing Folk hurts. And, of course, the year that they're absolutely embarrassingly awful is the year they have the great kicker, right, Jake?
Right.
Like, not 2 years ago, when if they had Folk instead of Zerline, that whole season's different if Zerline makes the kick against Denver. I do truly believe that 2 years ago. Look, I would be very surprised if Cade York is the kicker week 1, Jake. I just have to imagine, and I hope that the plan is what you said, that this is, forget just a 2-way competition. This should be a 3-way competition, regardless of who else is added in. York has a very strong leg, but he's, as Rosenblatt's tweet says there, 73% in this era in the NFL is not good.
Nope.
That's how good kickers are at this point. 73% is actually quite bad at this point. So I would like to see a multi-way competition here at kicker. If York is the kicker at week 1, that means that they have a big downgrade from what they had a year ago. And that's, again, if you're trying to win football games here in 2026, that is a bad thing. If you're not trying to win football games, having a bad kicker is not a terrible thing, Jake. But again, with the way this offseason has gone, it is pretty clear to me that goal number 1 is show improvement enough that Aaron Glenn can keep his job. That is what this whole offseason has screamed to me, Jake, with all these short-term veteran deals, that it's, hey, we got to show improvement, even if it's going to 7-10, which I know a lot of people, it's like, all right, we want to get playoffs, but this roster's still not close to being a playoff roster. But this offseason has truly shown to me, like, hey, Muji and Glenn are clearly on the same page of, hey, we got to get this roster better so we can show that both of us are here in 2027, which, again, I think Muji's here regardless. Aaron Glenn obviously has to show improvement off of what was a cluster, to put it politely, a year ago.
It's just amazing how a year ago the owner referred to Muji as Glenn's sidekick, and here we are, and it does feel like the dynamic has changed. I had Rich Samini on my show last week, and he said Muji's not Glenn's sidekick, and he forecasted that exact scenario where Muji's here and Glenn's not. Muji hires Davis Webb, who he knows from his Denver days. Muji hires KOC if it goes wrong for the Vikings. Like, there's clearly a path to that. If they don't show enough improvement, we'll see how Muji handles the draft and what happens there before we fully judge. But I'm with you. It's all about showing real improvement, and they've upgraded the roster enough where you could properly evaluate Aaron Glenn as a coach. For those saying you couldn't evaluate him after the trade deadline, well, I'd say you started 0-7 and he looked in over his head. But now he gets a full opportunity here to prove he could coach. He's got the superpowers of calling the defense now. Let's see. Otherwise, he won't be here.
100%. And again, it's his defense now. There's no, this was the Wilkes defense. This is like, you hired a nonsense defensive coordinator that you legitimately had one Zoom interview with and then hired the next day in Duker. Like, this is Aaron Glenn's defense. Like, there's no excuses anymore. And they've made enough. Like, if this team was like, let's say last year, Jake, let's say they went like 6-11 and it was because their defense was just a disaster like it was last year. I would be saying, my tune would be a lot different going into this. It'd be like, okay, you know what? You're improved at quarterback with Gino, because anything's an improvement over everything but week 1 from Justin Fields last year, a game they didn't even win. You retain Breece Hall, which, by the way, I think this tag and trade stuff is nonsense. Like, they're going to get a long-term deal done with Breece Hall. It might take some time, but they're going to get it done. I truly believe that.
What gives you confidence, real quick, on that? Why are you so sure?
Confidence in that, when it's all said and done, the argument for keeping Breece is what I told you during the last 2 months of the season. This rebuild has to be offense first. And look, I understand Breece's perspective. Like, there's a lot of good teams out there. This is not the best situation, but the Jets can still pay him the most of everybody. That's the other thing. They still can pay him the most of everyone, because when it's all said and done, the Jets are going to have the most room of any team that Hall's going to want to go to. So I still have a lot of confidence that Breece is going to be here long-term as a Jet. Him and Garrett Wilson are the building blocks on this offense moving forward. And also, too, Jet offensive line is an offensive line I'd want to run behind if I were running back, too. So,
yeah,
again, all the other stuff needs to get sorted out, as we know. But we'll see. But back to what I was saying, like, the way they've handled this offseason defensively, like, I don't think anyone had the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade even remotely on the radar, right? Like, what? Like, that came completely out of left field when that happened, especially with it being an in-division deal with Miami. I love the Sweat Johnson flip, by the way, Jake. I love that trade for the Jets. They really, with Quinnen gone, yeah, I know Briggs had a nice year. I know the other guys had reasonable, like, there are some reasonable pieces of the finds that they had, but Sweat's a legit dude. Like, that dude is awesome. And especially with you changing the configuration of your defense. Look, it was going to be a pick between Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald anyway. Take the guy who has an extra year of control. I don't have a problem with that. So I really did like that trade. It was tough to see Maine go because I liked him as a player. I thought that he never fully got back from his ACL tear. But you know what? Tough choices had to be made. And you know what? The Jets are taking a pass rusher at number 2. I feel confident in that at this point. Whether it's Arvell Reese or Vel Reese, whatever he's going by at this point.
Arvell. He said, someone asked him, and I was standing right there, and then I followed up. He said the NFL got that wrong. I was like, before I saw Ty Simpson and got that video, I was like, Vel, what did they? He's like, I don't know, man. The NFL screwed that up according to Arvell Reese, not
Jake,
Vel.
My guy, Jake, my guy's David Bailey. That has been that's my guy. If they end up with Bailey, that would be awesome. If they end up with Ruben Bain, that would be awesome at 2. Reese scares me a little bit because I'm not sure if I trust his coaching staff to take a guy who doesn't really have a position but has all that skill and play him the right way.
I trust Carl Dunbar, Jeff. That's why I'm in on
Carl's
Arvo
awesome,
Reese.
but again, like everything that has AG's fingerprints on it still is going to scare me until further proven otherwise. So,
Of course.
but look, again, like the other moves, like that was a really smart contract they signed Osai to. Like, I know he didn't have a great year last year in Cincinnati, but that guy's got a lot of talent. And then on that deal, that's a really fair deal. I love DeMario. I don't know if I love the idea of a 37-year-old player in any position other than quarterback at this point, but we know DeMario can still play, and we know he was a great Jet in the past, and we know he's a great locker room guy. The guy from Atlanta, Onimana, like he's a good player, but he's older. So like, again, like if this team was a little bit closer to being a legitimate playoff team, I would like this offseason a lot more than I think I do. But they are clearly putting together an offense towards a defense of what Aaron Glenn wants to configure. And he also signed a guy in Wright from Chicago who had 5 more interceptions than the team did. But you and I had the same amount of interceptions than the team did last year. So that really isn't much of an accomplishment. So,
yeah.
But look, they've made moves where it's like, all right, Aaron, you're getting the personnel you want.
Yeah,
you better have a defense that's at least half decent this year.
Exactly. Show you could coach defense, and no one's going to kill you if Geno Smith sucks and the Jets' offense is not a good offense. You have to be better than you were with Justin Fields. I mean, you fired your entire offensive coaching staff besides the O-line coach and the receiver coach. Let's see if Frank Reich could still coordinate a competent offense because, again, people look at the Jets and they're a joke and they won 3 games. I get all that. We just went through it. They're not bereft of talent on offense. They have a good offensive line. They have Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall. You're going to add another receiver. Could be a trade for Brian Thomas Jr., but if not, the draft has plenty of receivers. They have assets to do it.
Kyle Lemon with your second.
I'm with you. But they're not bereft of talent on that side of the ball. So if Geno's protected, he could at least be average, maybe slightly below average, which is remarkably better than what they got at the position last year.
Look, Geno's ceiling is probably quarterback 16. That's his ceiling at this point. Like smack dab in the middle. It could be as bad as it was. Like it wouldn't shock me if Geno's just done at this point.
That's what I said.
Like if you told me Geno is benched for whoever they sign as the backup by week 8, I wouldn't be shocked. If you told me Geno had a really good year and the Jets and the Jets all of a sudden overachieved and it's like, oh, we're going to move back up the draft board to get one of these quarterbacks. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at that either. So again, I lean towards that he's probably closer to being finished than not, Jake. That would be my concern here because, yeah, the offensive line with the Raiders was an abomination of humanity last year, but Geno Smith was mostly terrible anyway. Even it wasn't just that the O-line was pathetic. Like his decision-making was worse last year. He really, even in the games the Raider O-line played okay, other than that Jacksonville game, Geno really didn't play well last year in any game. So I do have those worries. I'm curious to see who the backup is. Like, I know that the reports are saying Carson Wentz. I would be fine with that. I know Frank Reich loves Carson Wentz. Obviously, look, that year, Carson Wentz was not good, but he perfected the chuck it downfield and get pass interference on the underthrown ball offense that year, if you remember, Jake. So, look, when it's all said and done for me, I think the range for this team has gotten wider because before this offseason, I thought, oh my goodness, they're going to be every bit as bad as they were if they don't do this offseason correctly. They've done this offseason well enough. Could they go 4-13 again? Yes, because the schedule's brutal.
Yep.
They could be this is the one catch-22 with this year, which I'm very interested to see how Woody handles it at the end of the year. They could be vastly improved, Jake. But they could go 4-13. They could go 4-13. Wouldn't shock me at all if that happens. So we'll see. And Geno's honestly going to be the piece more than anything else, Geno's going to be the piece that really dictates what this team ends up being.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
They didn't write back, Jeff.
Also, too, the sequencing of the schedule is going to be very important this year. The sequencing of the schedule is going to be very important.
They need some wins early because if they start poor, it's that, here we go again. And Glenn's message is going to be lost quickly.
Way the schedule breaks, that's the problem, though, because the draws are so bad where you play the AFC West and the NFC North. The NFC North is by far the best division in football again. And look, Jake, now that Geno's on the Jets, I would be floored if week 1 is not Raiders at Jets. I would be floored at this point.
Yeah, but hold on. You also could have the scenario where it's Jets at Titans, Jets versus Salah.
Jake, I'm happy you brought that up because my brain, because this is how my brain works, legitimately went to they're going to open Mendoza in New York because the league will think it's a soft landing spot against the team who traded the quarterback away. And then week 2, the Jets will go to Tennessee. That was my whole thought. And you know what? Those are 2 winnable games, Jake. And if you can find a way to start 2-0, if that ends up being the schedule, then you can change the way you look at this. And then if you go 0-2, oh boy, buddy. Oh boy, buddy. If you get that's the thing. Like, if you get an easy draw, you got to win games if you're going to be improved, like actually be legitimately improved. But then the league could have totally throw a curveball on us, and the Jets could open up with a road trip to Chicago and a trip to Kansas City early. And it's like, oh my goodness, how's they be like last year? Remember last year we talked about like, hey, the schedule's really difficult, but a path to 4-4 through 8 games is there. And obviously that did not happen. This one, you need the schedule to be right. Like in the first 6 weeks, Jake, I want to see this. I want to see the schedule backloaded this year. That's what I want to see. Like in the first 6 weeks of the season this year, I want to see the Jets play the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans, and the Cardinals, and maybe even one Miami game. Maybe that's getting too greedy. But I would love to see of their first 6 or 7 games, 5 of those 7 teams that I listed. 5 of those teams I listed. I'd love to see it in the first 7 games because then I think you're going to get a real accurate picture of how this coaching staff improved during the offseason if the schedule is soft. If you end up with a schedule where, like, look at that. Like, Jake, let's say they open against Tennessee week 1 on the road. All right, winnable game, but it is a road game in the NFL to open the season. Difficult. Any way you slice it. And then you go like Buffalo, Minnesota, New England, Detroit. Like, how can you evaluate anything on that, right? Like, the Jets are going to be big underdogs in basically every game I just mentioned in that scenario. So the sequencing is important, Jake. And I hate that I am saying that because I know people will say, oh, you're making an excuse if they get off to a bad start. But you know what? Scheduling for the NFL schedule is a lot more important than people realize. And for a team that, again, this coach needs to show that he's an NFL coach this year because he didn't show it last year. And his best path is an early, easy schedule where the Jets, even if the Jets go 3-3 through 6 weeks, that's improvement.
Again, Jeff,
that's improvement.
Robert Saleh had the Jets at 6-3 and 7-4 in his second year before it all fell apart. I don't know if Glenn's capable of getting this team 3 games above 500. He's got to have to show a lot. You're right about getting off to a good start. The schedule does matter there because it could snowball again. Last year, they all bought into Glenn. They were ready to go week 1. They were well coached against the Steelers. They came out on fire, ready to roll. And then they lost that game because of Xavier Gibson's fumble, and they just never recovered after that. And it spiraled. It snowballed to that 0-7 start. So I'm right there with you. The schedule certainly does matter. Hit the like button if you're tuned in. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I want to get to your super chats coming up. We also have to open up the Asmaniac Madness voting today. We got the 3 versus 14 battle, the Lane Train against Jams. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner advances to the round of 32, and voting is officially live.
Who's gonna be the best of the bunch? Asmaniac Madness. You get to pick the ones that make the show walk.
vote for your chance to send either the lane train or jams to the next round. All right, some news just broke that I want to hit you with, Jeff. The Bills are signing a big time pass rusher. They're signing Bradley Chubb to a 3-year, $43.5 million deal. Well, maybe not big time, but he's still a nice player, good player from Miami. So he goes from Miami to Buffalo. So the Bills get a pass rusher.
If it's improvement over Bosa, right? Like that's the logic here for Buffalo. That's what the logic is. Like he's an improvement over Joey Bosa from last year.
Also, breaking news, John Mechie to the Panthers. So he's gone. We knew the Jets didn't tender him. He gets reunited with his college quarterback, Bryce Young.
Happy for him that he got a contract. Like good for Mechie. Liked him for 3 weeks. Liked him when he scored the touchdowns, and I won a bunch of money on him, Jake. Yeah. Look, again, I am fascinated to see how the rest of this offseason plays out. The whole Max Crosby fiasco really kind of changes how the whole league plays out now, Jake. And I'm really intrigued to see how that plays out now. Because, I was on the radio with my guy. By the way, of course, on ESPN Las Vegas, when I'm co-hosting Cofield and Company with Steve Cofield, we have 2 Jet fans. Because of course we do here in Las Vegas.
We're everywhere.
You were watching a live stream. Text me one day, Jake. Which number 10 is he wearing? Holmes or Pennington? He was wearing Holmes. And I know this may not be particular to the Jets, but it may impact an opponent or two this year, and it may even impact the division. Even though I feel very confident that New England is not going to get Max Crosby under any circumstance, because Brady just does not want to help them under any circumstance at this point. I think Brady actually, even though publicly he'll never say it, I think Brady despises them as much as we do at this point, which is very funny. But I'm very curious to see where Crosby ends up, Jake, because that package that the Raiders got from Baltimore, I actually thought was really bad for the Jets, because the Raiders then hopped in front of the Jets, not only with number 1, but with number 14.
They were going to take the receiver or the guard that we maybe want.
Right. Like, I think the roster construction is relatively similar-ish, and they got the quarterback in 1. They wouldn't need and they could have taken a pass rusher at 14 too if the right one fell to them, especially with trading Crosby. Boy, they paid Linderbaum a ton of money, my friend. Boy, wow.
Oh yeah,
great.
But
player.
I get it. Like, why not? You're not paying Mendoza any money.
And also, it's funny. I said actually on Vegas Radio on Monday, like, I actually didn't like that deal because I didn't think it was long enough. I actually wanted it to be longer for the Raiders to make sure that he's there when if Mendoza's good, when Mendoza really starts popping off in years 3, 4, 5. As opposed to having to repay Linderbaum after year 3. But but the Crosby deal, look, I think that, Jake, that is there are waves that have not happened yet in this league that are going to happen because of that whole craziness in Baltimore. And I think the Ravens should lose their first round pick. If any malfeasance is found by the league. It's very hard to prove, but the fact that they flipped around not even 12 hours later and signed Trey Hendrickson makes me think that something that wasn't kosher was going on there, Jake.
Crazy story, man. Crazy story. And by the way, speaking of the Raiders, apparently Kirk Cousins is the name to watch to be the bridge in Vegas, according to multiple reports. So maybe they don't want Mendoza to start right away. Kirk will show him the ropes. If Kirk is willing to do that, he is the perfect bridge for Fernando Mendoza. I feel like some of the comps we got for Mendoza were Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, and they both have kind of quirky personalities. That'd be a good fit if the Raiders could actually get Kirk Cousins to be a veteran mentor for Mendoza.
I don't think you could do much better than that in this market, honestly, if you're the Raiders, unless if you're going to trade for Jacoby Brissett. Garoppolo obviously is off limits because he was here in Vegas already and was dreadful, and that's another Patriots connection that I think Brady would not want to go with. But that would be interesting because I actually always thought that Cousins, and we're running out of spots, but I always thought Cousins was going to try to sign somewhere where he could possibly start.
Right.
And with the Raiders, like I would be floored if Mendoza's not the starter in week 1. I really would be, Jake. So that That'd be quite the coup, actually, for the Raiders if they got him. But again, we're running out of spots, especially if the Kyler Murray the Kyler Murray Minnesota speculation is legitimate, like everyone seems it to be. And then that would just leave Pittsburgh. But I think with Big Mike getting that job, that Aaron Rodgers is going to play one more year in Pittsburgh.
Rodgers, another year, nothing like it. Hey, Geno Smith is back, baby.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
So I have a raffle prize up for grabs at the end of today's show. It is a signed Geno Smith rookie card. That's
baby.
Geno giveaway, our first Geno Smith giveaway in the history of this show, because I didn't have a show the last time Geno Smith was the quarterback of the Jets. If you want it, gift the membership or send in a super chat that qualifies, and we will put you in. When you enter for the Geno Smith signed rookie card, you also will be automatically entered in Friday's raffle for the signed Joe Namath helmet, signed Joe Klecko helmet, signed Garrett Wilson helmet. And for those of you who missed the announcement, I bought another item, a signed Kevin Mawai Hall of Fame inscription jersey. So 3 signed helmets and a jersey are the top prizes in our weekly raffle on Friday. Thank you to everyone who supports the show via the super chats and the gifted memberships. It helps keep us afloat and allows us to do these giveaways all year round. Some other interesting Jet notes here. We opened the show talking about the Dylan Parham signing. Well, how about this? A little breakdown on the deal that he actually signed. Connor Hughes reporting that the actual value of his contract is just 2 years, $16 million, with $7.49 million guaranteed. This is a team-friendly deal. So good job by Muji getting a player that, according to my friend who's a diehard Raiders fan, is a solid guard, reliable, and was not the problem with their offensive line that was so bad a year ago.
Be honest with you, Jake, I like the deal at 2 for $20. I like it even more at this. And again, this is a nice small gamble. If he's good, you got an insanely team-friendly contract in 2027. If he leaves after 27, so be it. And if he stinks, you don't have a lot of money to lose. Perfect. Great. Love it. Love it.
Love it. Jets making moves, baby. Muji moves, as they say, huh?
Yeah, very good. But again, Jake, like I just, because I imagine you and I'll hop back on with you when we get closer to the draft. I am just so fascinated to see like what this team looks like when we get to the season next year. I know they're not done yet off-season wise, because I can't remember a year, even Gase in 2020, even though we knew that team was going to be bad, I don't think and we knew that Gase wasn't good. I don't think any of us knew what we were truly in for that year. And also, too, everything was so screwed up because of COVID that I think that season just kind of just popped up on us.
Remember, they finished 7-9 the year before, and Sam was going to year 3.
And they won, and they beat every team they were supposed to beat when Sam played in 2019.
Right.
Like the only game they should have won that Darnold played in was the week 1 debacle against Buffalo, which if they had an NFL kicker in that game, they would have won anyway, even with Darnold playing with mono at the time. So look, I this is different. Like, I'm going into a year with no confidence in the head coach. Like, the head coach has to prove to me that he's an NFL head coach, Jake. And his roster is, look, I was wrong on their roster last year. I thought they were further along than they really were. Their roster was clearly awful, on top of being horribly coached.
Well, but that's the thing, though. How much of the bad roster was they were horribly coached? Like, did Jamie Sherwood forget how to play football? Yeah, that's what I mean.
We're going to learn that this year quick. And I think we're going to, and this goes back to the diatribe on the scheduling. Like, it is of the utmost importance for Aaron Glenn that this schedule is soft at the beginning, whenever it's, I guess it's will be released 2 months from now. But I am so intrigued to see if there is actually a difference with Aaron Glenn calling the defense. It does having a veteran OC make a difference. Again, I hate what they did to Angstrand. I thought it was stupid. I thought he had his warts, but I did not think he was the issue last year.
Play call is my superpower, really.
I did not. I like that, actually. I'm not a huge fan of Frank. Like, I just don't. I think the game's passed them by.
Jeez, what did Frank Reich do to you?
Yeah, I just not a fan. Not a fan. But look, we'll see. We'll see if Aaron got AG had to have got everything right this offseason, or else he's going to get fired if they go. What's the number they have to get to for him to be safe? Like,
I think
7?
he needs to win at least 7 games. But here's the thing: there's nuance in the 7. It can't be the Gase year where they start 1-7 and then beat bad teams and ruin draft positioning at the end, like in 2019 where they won against backups. They need to get off, and this is where your point on the schedule is well thought out and is spot on. They need to get off to a decent start. Can they be 4-4 through their first 8 games? If they start 1-5, are we sure Woody Johnson's not going to grow impatient and make Aaron Glenn this year's Brian Callahan with a 5-19 record at that point?
Well, here's the other thing. He actually has an actual logical interim on his staff now.
And Frank
Reich, that is like, he is the interim. Like, if you fight, like, again, I don't expect Aaron Glenn to get fired midseason. I think that Woody would let him coach out the string. And then if it's bad, and then if it gets to that point, he would be gone after the year. But you have your interim on your staff. Like Frank Reich is your interim. So it changes things. It changes how you can perceive things. But again, we'll see. We're a little under 6 months from opening day, my friend. Pretty good. We're under the 6-month mark. So we'll see. But this is like I said earlier, like the way the schedule comes down is that's gonna like, even with all the draft to come and everything, and that things can change. I think my view of this team is going to be highly dictated by what their schedule actually looks like in their sequencing. Because if their schedule is brutal at the beginning, so we're like, all right, well, he's gone. He's gone at the end of the year. They're going to go 3-14, or they're going to go 5-12 with 4 wins in December and lose Arch Manning, or it looks easy and it's like, all right, you got a shot. You better start 4. You better win 4 out of your first 8. You better go 3-3 in your first 6 when you have the Raiders, Arizona, and Tennessee in your first 5 games. Like, you just got to do it.
Just get ready to march for Arch if that happens. All right. If Gino's not our guy, we're marching for Arch. Let's go.
I will tell you, Jake. I will tell you. If the Jets end up with Arch Manning, it will be a few years of how can this possibly go wrong? Because by the end of the year, Jake, I thought Arch Manning was the second best quarterback in college football by the end of last year.
So that's what I love that you're talking about here, because a lot of people are like, oh, he wasn't that good. If you watch
was
college football,
the last month of the season,
you watched it.
Was spectacular. After that Florida debacle, he was great down the stretch. And everyone's opinion of him got totally screwed up because of the Ohio State game. He was bad in 2 games last year. He was bad against Ohio State, and he was bad against Florida. Other than that, he was really good, and he was better than everyone but Fernando Mendoza down the stretch. Mendoza was the only guy who was better than the last month of the season. So if he comes out, assuming Texas doesn't pull a Dante Moore, which, again, the irony in all this is Moore's going to go back to school at Oregon and probably end up on the Jets anyway when the Jets are picking 5th next year. But yeah, look, there are going to be a lot of quarterbacks in next year's draft, Jake. I like, even, and that's the other thing, like, even if the worst possible thing happens, if the Jets go 7-10, which is probably the worst place for them to be right now, they still have 2 first-round picks where they can move up if they fall in love with someone that is available. That could be had.
100%.
That's a good thing. Which, go on, Michael Penix. Let's sabotage the Colts. Let's do it, baby.
I mean, think about it, though. Between the Jets having their own pick, the Colts with Daniel Jones and that whole situation, the fact that they also get the better of Dallas and Green Bay, no one brings up the fact, what if, God forbid, there's a serious injury to Dak or Jordan Love and they lose a lot of games? The Jets got Garrett Wilson because Russell Wilson got hurt, and that pick that Seattle traded to the Jets was supposed to be in the late 20s. No, it ended up being pick 10 that year. So they got, if you think about it, 4 chances to get a really, really high pick. Their own, the Colts, and either Dallas or Green Bay. That's 4 different opportunities for one of these teams to be dreadful, and you're picking in the top 10, top 5.
I totally forgot about the Green Bay Dallas angle. I forgot that it was the better of the 2 of them. But look,
Muji's good at his job, man. I don't know about Glenn. I have my doubts like you, but I am convinced we have at least a competent general manager in Darren Muji.
Which, again, makes me hope that if this team is not good, that Woody is like, all right, I think I got the GM. Let him hire the next coach. Like, I cannot be if either they both stay or they're both gone. And it can't happen. Like, if Aaron Glenn is just terrible, like he was last year, that's who Aaron Glenn is. You cannot get rid of the GM because the coach, and by the way, Woody Johnson hired, not Muji. You can't get rid of the GM because that coach is not good. If that, again, and let's see if Glenn improves. I have my doubts. I have big doubts that Aaron Glenn will improve. But if he does, then we might not have an offseason where we're talking about firing a coach for the first time in a while.
Ah, how great would that be? I know you got to run, so I appreciate you hopping on. Let me end with this. Gun to your head, the Jets draft who at 2 and who at 16 as we sit here on March 11th?
They draft Reese at 2, and they draft the lineman from Penn State with the 2nd pick.
Ah, you're a Vega guy, Vega Ione.
Yeah. I think that's what this team's MO is going to be. We want to be able to rush the passer, which, and with having big guys inside, Reese can do a little bit of everything. Again, I would personally take David Bailey. I love David Bailey. That would be my pick, but I think the Jets are going to get the allure of that talent in that body from Reese is just going to be too much in the end to pass on for this front office and coaching staff. And then, I think they want to fortify the offensive line, and that Parham contract kind of tells me that that's rotational depth money, not starting guard money usually, Jake. So that kind of makes me think that they could do what they did with Olu. Again, the Tyron Smith signing was a debacle, but they could do what they did with Olu with an inside guy. And then, geez, then you have 4 young offensive line starters. Oh, baby. And if they're all good, you got yourself a Brick Mangold era offensive line for the first time in forever.
My preference would be receiver instead of guard, but I do
I'd
understand.
rather have Lemon, but I think that just go. If you tell me what I think they're going to do, that's what I think they're going to do. If it was GM Jeff Parles, it would be David Bailey at 2, and then if Mekhi Lemon is somehow there, I would take him. And if he's not, I would trade back and try to get KC Concepcion at the end of the first round.
I like it, Jeff. You're the man. Where can people find you?
Jeff Parles on the social media, on X, Twitter, whatever the hell Elon's calling it these days. And I am on ESPN Las Vegas, Cofield and Company at 6:00 Eastern on Friday this week. Jake, I know you're going to be making a trip to Vegas at some point soon, so we'll be on the lookout for that as well. Next week is the best week of the year in Las Vegas.
I did it one year when I was still with ESPN Houston. We went out there for the week to do our radio show. It was a blast.
How about this, Jake? It's going to be 98 degrees on the first day of the tournament here.
Wow. I'll be in the stadium swim pool all day at Circa.
98
I was out there
on opening day of the tournament, which it would be the hottest March day in Vegas history if that happened. So there you go.
We got 70 degrees the last 2 days here
I
in New
saw
York.
it. I mean, you guys are finally out from underneath the ice and the snow. I'm very happy for you guys, Jake.
Unreal, man. I forgot what grass and sunshine really look like. Crazy. Well, enjoy Vegas, Jeff. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Thanks, guys.
Jeff Parles with us here. I'm going to get caught up on the super chats. We also have the raffle prize for those of you just tuning in. Eugene Smith, autograph rookie card, our first Gito giveaway. Uno says, Jake, put me in. Uno, you are in for 2.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Hell yeah. Let me shout out Colin Wolford. He's the first to give us a 5 spot on the show today. Let's go, Colin. Hit it.
It's the Asmaniac membership raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
If you got a membership from Colin, make sure you thank him. I have a bunch of super chats I want to hit. We also, of course, will have another guest joining us. We're doubling up on the guests. There's so much Jet news to discuss. We got the great Tyson Roush, one of my favorites. Let's Talk Jets is his YouTube channel. He's going to be coming on the show, and we'll talk all things Jets with him. Make sure you cast your vote in Asmaniac Madness. The lane train is dominating right now. We might have history. This could be one of the biggest blowouts we've had in Asmaniac Madness history. Lane, a 3 seed, dominating Jams, 81-19 right now is the scoreboard. And I bring that up because we actually have, according to our resident statistician, a graphic that represents the biggest blowouts in the history of the tournament. They all came last year. Mr. Bonesy's got the record, 85-14. But you could see Lane Train, 81-19. That would be in the top 5. Lane last year won a matchup 81-18 over 25 in his opening battle. So keep that in mind as you vote. There is some Asmaniac history that is on the line. On that note, I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll get to your calls. We got Tyson Roush set to join us, and I have some super chats to respond to. We're back right after this.
Draft Day 2026 live from Pittsburgh.
Jets Nation on the clock. Gang Green take Fat McFadden's day and night draft party, hosted by the Jay Gasner Show. Thursday, April 23rd, doors open at noon. Let's go! Yeah!
As far as the famous Storms go, I would rank Storm Duck as number 3. Jason Allen Storm is number 2.
Do I look like a duck to you? Go fuck yourself.
You have no self-control, or you don't have the intelligence to execute the plan. He's got 4 chins. He doesn't have a shirt that fits him. He's built like a snowman.
You can't win!
Give me my Lambo keys. Get the hell out of my house. I can't win? You got this $1 million mansion in the Philly suburb. Get the hell out of my house.
Why can't you change your thinking? Everybody else does.
I can beat somebody. Look at the car you're driving. Look at the house you're living in. Me, that's me. I did that. My blood, sweat, and tears. Me.
Don't do this.
Like, you don't get to be down for the victory ride if you're not down for the climb. Like, get the hell out. You married a fighter. I will protect you.
Yes, you can.
I got you, okay? You build up my spirits when I don't want to go to the gym, when I don't want to work. Why did you marry a fighter? I was paid to fight. You pay me, I will fight you. That's the deal. You don't think I can win? Get the hell out of my house. Like, what are you here for?
You can't win!
If you're not pissed off as a Jet fan, I don't know what the hell you're watching. I don't know what the hell you're being positive about. I don't want to hear nothing positive. Not today. Year after year, the same bullshit.
All you do is talk.
Let me tell you something, Tony. Your fried fish is going down, baby, and y'all don't get no win against us. None this season, because y'all some trash. J-Tips. Just.
I got gas right now.
Beast Breaker is eating his first ever salad, folks.
The Gary, eat more salads, man.
Now, they're saying that that's not actually a salad here. A couple comments for you to respond to. Dana says, how the hell is that a salad, no green in it? I don't see any green. Where's the green?
I did watch. You want to go see?
Where's he?
1, 2, 3, 4.
He just told us his pin.
That is the sexiest thing you're ever going to see. Okay, dickwad.
Dickwad, you are a moron. You're a fat, stupid
take my
idiot.
fist,
That's
or this
all you
baseball
are.
bat, grab
You're
it right down your
fat,
goddamn
you're
visible
stupid, you're lazy, you're dumb.
fucking
All
mouth
those
about it.
qualities
Hey,
for you.
Shut the fuck up when I speak to you, dickbag.
Beast, you are a moron. I hope Jake and that idiot Gator are paying you very well. I really do.
You make Josh Allen lose weight on a planet place.
Beast, you are an idiot. You're always going to be an idiot.
I could not watch the whole game.
Is it true you didn't watch any of the game?
Running up and down the damn stairs, doing laundry, and also doing the art.
You claim to be a huge Jet fan. You're doing laundry during the game? You know you called it to a football show, right?
We know that.
But you didn't watch the football game. Tell us what happened on the Jets' first drive on 3rd down, the big play that happened there.
Yo, I had blood work done 72 hours ago. You don't
Yeah,
think
but
I don't
24 hours ago.
I got a fucking problem.
First drive for the Jets, offensively, 3rd down. What happened?
I will report this to the FCC and the ASPCA. You can take this picture and shove it. Oh. I ain't fucking it. I gotta. Oh. I fucking. Nobody gives a shit. I fucking got gas right now. Oh.
Over the course of the month, Neil regaled the chat with incredible stories, including women in basements making tomato sauce, old road rage incidents.
Oh, I'm flying. He cuts me off, spits at me. Him and I start wrestling, this guy, and he swings at me and knocks my cigar out of my mouth. My wife, I see a fist come out of the window and boom, he hits the gun like this. While I was picking up my cigar, my wife starts screaming at him, "You get back in your goddamn car, how dare you!" But this guy ran, and that cigar was still there lit.
A time when he was tasked with skinning a goat. And of course, the good old days when the Jets didn't suck.
When Belichick was coaching the defense, he would go on the field and say, "You moron, stand right here and don't move. When this play comes, you stand here. If they just stood where they were supposed to, the ball hit them in the hands. That's how intricate his defenses were.
He did have a few interesting takes when he was convinced that once players go pro, they get handed a giant bag of drugs and steroids.
When you become a pro player, they give you a big bag of drugs, steroids, and all this other shit. If we don't get an over in this game, you could make me do anything you want and I'll do it.
Neil didn't avoid controversy, however, as he was accused of being the sole reason the Jets did not beat the Bills in Week 2 because he didn't hump a Josh Allen jersey at the tailgate.
I got to hump a Josh Allen jersey.
Oh, this is what I'm going to do to you all season, little bitches.
He promised to do so, but he broke that promise, and Jet fans' hearts everywhere.
And we're back. Hit that like button. Phantom Lights writes in with a super chat to get 2 raffle tickets. Welcome back, Gino.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Oh, yeah. How are the sports books reacting to the Gino move by the Jets? Latest odds from FanDuel. The Jets plus 25,000 to win the Super Bowl. So you're saying there's a chance.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Shout out to FanDuel for being our presenting sponsor. Some other super chats. We also got Tyson Roush coming up. Talk My says this signing of BTJ could really open up our draft. If they acquired Brian Thomas Jr., then you wouldn't take a receiver at 16, and you probably wouldn't have pick 44. Pick 33 could definitely be Ty Simpson, could be a safety, could be a lineman. You could do anything with that pick, especially now that you have the Parham signing, which I love. That's a really good move for the offensive line. Doc checks in. If you didn't believe that, you know what? I read that one earlier because it was so funny. Sears with a super chat. The only thing I hate about losing both Simpson and AVT is they're yet again telegraphing another top O-line pick. Not anymore, baby. Dylan Parham has been signed. Jets have a legitimate left guard. He was good with the Raiders. He didn't have his best year this past year. Nobody did. But he could play right guard. He could play left guard. Maybe they moved Tippmann back to left guard because Parham was better as a right guard than a left guard. Keep that in mind. Or if they do draft Vega, Ione from Penn State, maybe Tippmann's the center and Vega plays one of the guard spots. They're going to be okay offensive line-wise. I feel pretty good about it. Derek, the Jet fan, has gifted a membership. He is in the Asmaniac Raffle for 1. Let's go.
Yeah.
Talk My Sheesh says, how do you feel about trading BTJ and drafting Sadiq at 16? So you're going to trade for Brian Thomas Jr. and draft Sadiq? I don't think they would do that. I could be wrong. That's a lot of mouths to feed with Geno Smith as your quarterback. Mace B with a super chat. So getting Geno means 1, AG giving green light to have losing season. 2, they'll draft Ty. And 3, Geno mentor. They really believe in Geno being good. I don't know how you drew any conclusions based off that. Getting Geno means he was the best they could do at finding a starting level quarterback to try and save their jobs. They got to show progress and improvement with the offensive line they have, some of the existing weapons, the resources they're pouring into fixing the defense and expecting them to have still a very good special teams unit. Glenn's got to prove he can coach. That's what the move for Geno is. Could they take Ty? Yeah, they love Ty Simpson. I don't rule it out, but Glenn is not getting the green light to have another losing season. He doesn't have to make the playoffs, but he can't go 3-14 again, 4-13. Like, he's going to have to show progress. Kale with a super chat in the raffle for 2. This year's about setting up the young QB we get in the 27 draft. Guard at 16 is in play. Geno talk overblown. It's just 1 year. Relax, everyone. Muji safe. Smart GM moves have been made. Building year. I don't disagree. It's tough to sell a fan base on a building year, but you also can't force the quarterback if it's not there. And if you don't have a head coach, which right now I don't think we do, we got to find out for sure, though. So I'm with you. I'm not overreacting to Geno. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to lead them to the playoffs, so like some want me to say. I'm going to call it for what it is. I think he's better than Justin Fields. He's probably better than a lot of other options. We just got to hope that he could give us the Fitzpatrick year, which ironically only happened because Geno got punched by his own teammate and lost the starting job.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Unreal. Bino says, Jacob, if he wins 4 games in 26 and is 7-27 after 2 years, there'd be a riot. They brought him back. Year 3, the bootlickers would join in. If he wins 4 games, he's gone. If he wins 7 games through 2 years, he's fired. He should be. Matt Shaw says, can we high five that Clemons is gone? Boom. High five. Talked about that earlier for those just tuning in. Doc Jet fan says, Today's first prize in the raffle, signed Clemons jersey. Second prize, 2 signed Michael Clemons jerseys. I'm going to send Gorman a Michael Clemons Colts jersey. Oh, yeah, let's go.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
Shout out to my guy, Derek, the Jet fan, another gifted membership. And just like that, we are caught up on the super chats. And now I'm excited about this. He's one of my favorites. He calls it how it is when it comes to the New York Jets. It's our guy from Let's Talk Jets, Tyson Roush. What's up, Tyson? Appreciate you hopping on.
Jake, how you doing, man?
Tyson, I'm fantastic. Gino is back. The Jets are making moves. Who's got it better than us?
Well, I changed my microphone just now. Does this sound all right or no?
You sound good, man. And by the way, I love the setup. It's a nice addition with all the different signed memorabilia. Got some music stuff there. It's very cool.
Gotta diversify, man.
What's new with you, man? You give us the breakdown on the Jets, how you feeling, and anything else in your life that I need to know. I feel like I haven't had John in a long time.
Dude, I've been trying to track you down for like 4 months at this point. You're just a man of people. You ignore us little people now, man. So now it's like it's an honor to talk to you amongst all your big opportunities over there.
No. Your job is crazy, man. I've tried for months to get you on this show, and your schedule is just not aligned, unfortunately.
It's the Jets are interesting right now, right, man? It seems like half the fan base is pissed off, half the fan base is happy, and they're trying to make moves. They're trying to compete. I think I like what Darren Muji's done so far. We know what we are. We're a bad team trying to find our way to be just competitive and competent. We're not talking playoffs. We're not talking 10 wins. We're talking like get to 6 or 7, be entertaining. Don't be irrelevant by Halloween, like the little things in life. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. Don't be irrelevant by Halloween. It's crazy. We're back at that benchmark, but I do agree. I mean, look, we'll start with the quarterback because that's the most important position, and then we can get to some of the other moves. I thought you had a great take on Gino. You were like, what did you expect? Like, who else was coming here? What were the other options? Expound on that. Give us your breakdown on Geno Smith.
Look at the state of the Jets, man. You literally brought back a head coach that we wanted fired. You brought in Frank Reich, who wasn't in the NFL last year. So from an outsider looking in, who actually wants to come quarterback the New York Jets? Next to nobody. So you can rule out Kirk Cousins, rule out Kyler Murray, rule out Derek Carr. Okay, you're not going to trade for Mac Jones. You're not trading for Davis Mills. You're not getting Brissett. You're not getting Tanner McKee. So now your group is so small. So you're picking the best of the worst at this point. That's what you're getting. And Gino for $3.3 million works for me, man. Because you want a bridge quarterback than what? That can run your offense, that can actually complete passes, a foreign concept to Jet fans, like the screen pass, play action pass, actually throw a pass that can be caught. Maximize Garrett Wilson, maximize Mason Taylor, like just the little things. Allow your offense to run and function. That's all we want. For $3.3 million, Gino can do that. He's dealt with the Northeast. He's dealt with the media. He's dealt with the fans. He knows what he's getting himself into. He chose the Jets. Why not, dude? Like, people just hate Gino because he's Gino. I honestly don't give a shit about 2013. I don't care about 13 years ago. It doesn't matter. He's a much different player from then. I don't care if he's a jerk, to be honest with you. Who cares? Justin Fields is a nice guy. How'd that work out? Don't care. Players respect him. Players will play for him. He's going to compete. He's tough. And we'll see what happens. And the other thing, too, is he's not the savior, dude. He's a 1-year Band-Aid. It's not a 10-year contract. It's not $40 million. It's like, just find a way to navigate us out of this dumpster fire.
I think that's well said. And look, I don't think he's going to play great with the Jets by any means. I think his ceiling is probably, maybe like the 16th to 18th best quarterback in the league, but that'd be so much better than what we have seen for most of the last, 15 years, basically, during this playoff drought. So I'm with you. The question I think you just had with Gino, he's thrown 32 picks the last 2 years. He's getting up there in age. He'll be 36. Now, he hasn't played as many snaps as other guys, with that age, because he was a backup for a lot of his career. But did he just lose it last year, or was it just a product of, hey, the Raiders are an unmitigated disaster and you just throw that year away?
It could be a little of both, right? But you got to look at, what are the Jets going to ask them to do? They're going to want to run the football, man. They're not going to say throw the ball 45 times, 25 to 30 times, maybe make 2 clutch throws per game. And yes, the Raiders sucked last year. Bad coaching, bad coordinator, bad O-line play, no playmakers. Gino was far from perfect. But that also means you're getting a very motivated Geno Smith too. He's coming back to this market. He's got a lot to prove. He wants to bounce off last year. So I think the Jets know how to handle him. I think having Frank Reich in the room gives me a little bit of confidence. It's not like you have some coordinator that's in over his head. Like, Frank Reich's been there, done that. You got to figure he signed off on this and actually wanted him here. So you do what he does best, but primarily run the friggin' football, right? Ground and pound. Hopefully your defense is a lot better based on your signings, and you move on from there. But like, I don't understand all the hate that Geno's getting. I don't. Like, We know what we have, a bridge quarterback. I think what the Jets are going to ask him to do, he can do. And some days do very well. Some days he'll suck. But that's every quarterback at this level. Like your mediocre average quarterbacks. And if you get a top 20 quarterback, we haven't seen that in what? Even Rodgers was a lot of garbage time. Like we'll be competitive at least.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Our guy Tyson Rouch from Let's Talk Jets is chilling with us here. If you guys got questions, write them in. Make sure you cast your vote for Asmaniac Madness. We got the Lane Train and Jams in battle right now. Lane dominating 79-21 in poll voting. Also, Geno Smith signed rookie card is our raffle prize. Big shout out to the super chat I just saw from Johnny. Who says, Jake and Tyson, my two faves, JETF.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
Yeah, baby. Let's go, Tyson. Love it.
This is awesome, man.
M123 says, is 26 playoffs the worst long-term quarterback/team result? Absolutely not. They broke the playoff drought. Look what it did for the Bills with Tyrod Taylor, ironically, ending a 17-year drought. Then they still made the move to go get Josh Allen. The Jets are equipped with 3 1s. They don't need the number 1 pick. It's not going to just be a one quarterback draft. They'll be quarterbacks. They need to show competency. If Glenn could get this team to the playoffs, you'd have a head coach. I'd take every bad thing I said about him. I'd say I'm voting for him for coach of the year if he got the Geno Smith to the playoffs.
That's the whole thing, dude. Like people like, oh, we got a tank. What if they actually start winning? That means you found the head coach. Like it's almost like winning's like it's like, oh, we can't do that. Why not? Then instead of blowing it all up next year, we could actually build on it and do a true rebuild where you add steps to the process here. Like, dude, I don't get it. Like, I'd like to see them like win 7 games. Hey, they make the playoffs? We're gonna have parties. I'll be going to your tailgate party. We'll go travel anywhere. Like, it'd be a miracle at this point. And then the other thing too is look at this young team. Like all these young impressionable players. They don't need endless losing. They need hope. They need some kind of glimmer of progress. They say, I want to be here. Let's attract more players here instead of begging them and playing a Jets tax.
It's amazing, man. I mean, just the idea that people are like, would it be bad if they ended the playoff drought? No, if you're in the longest playoff drought in sports, it'd be a good thing.
We're so used to losing at this point. Like, no, we got to keep tanking. We've been tanking for 15 years. Enough.
It's so bad. Brian checks in. Tyson, my guy, Jets for life. Let's go, baby. All right, so give me your thoughts on the non-quarterback moves, right? They've added a lot to the defense. I love the Minka deal, getting him for a 7th and bringing in a true veteran leader. To me, they got like real leaders now at all 3 levels of the defense. Minka in the secondary. You got Demario Davis, who they signed at linebacker. He is the quintessential leader, middle linebacker, green dot, toughness, everything they needed that they haven't had. Love that move. And then you got our guy, Harrison Phillips, up front. He's a true vet and really became one of the leaders of the team when he was acquired in a deal. So I feel like the leadership on the team, there's adults in the room now. Give me your breakdown on some of the defensive moves.
I wish they did this last year. This is how you change your culture, man. You make moves that – see, the thing is now is like Aaron Glenn's picking guys for his defense, his play calling. So now he knows what fits him, but this should have happened last year. This is exactly what they missed out on by literally bringing leadership, adults in the room where your young players have somebody to look up to. It's not like the blind leading the blind. Like, oh, no, we know, like, Demario Davis, listen, this is how we do this is how we conduct business. Follow me, lead by example. Fitzpatrick the same way, but it seems like every guy they brought in is a high energy guy, high motor guy, nasty, tenacious, and that's what you need. Like we talked about this last year, dude. It's like you need dogs in the room, guys that absolutely hate losing. And you look at the trades Muji made last year, it seemed like Brownlee didn't, like he came in, all of a sudden, instant impact, refused to lose. Harrison Phillips, Membu as a rookie, had that, like, got mad about losing. That's what you need, not guys that are mopey, justifying losing, complacent, and just all this. This is what you have to bring in here. I like all the moves, and they're not cap breakers. They're not monster contracts. Most of them are 1-year deals, flyers. Maybe you find a piece, you bring them back next year. I like it, dude. This is all what we need to do to finally turn this thing around.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Tyson Rouch from Let's Talk Jets is our guest. Doc Jet fan writes in, spot on, Tyson. Why did this not happen last year? I'm with you. It kind of feels like what they're doing now, this should have been the plan immediately after moving on from Rodgers. And while I was someone, I don't know where you stood, I wanted to bring Aaron back for another year. If this was their plan from the beginning, this would make sense. But the half-measured approach they took where they split up the cap hit for Rodgers over 2, which never made sense, handing Fields $40 million with 30 of it guaranteed with no competition, how inexperienced they were from a coaching staff standpoint with a first year. Like, again, year 1 happened, and that's on Glenn's resume. But, like, this should have been the plan after you tear down the failure Saleh Douglas era, and they're a year too late. And now you kind of have this tricky dynamic of the coach has got to show improvement to be here, where the GM needs to think in the long term, because you don't want to just reach for the quarterback or be stupid with these 3 first-round picks in 2027 and be reckless this year. Like, it's a very weird dynamic the Jets find themselves in, having to show improvement, but you don't want to win 7 or 8 games and then miss out on the chance to get your quarterback. So it's a very fine line they're towing.
Yeah, but I think they realize now they're on the hot seat and they have to win. They have to compete. But I think last year was historically bad, man. Like, we saw things I've never seen before. I'm like 80 years old. I'm like, no interceptions. The offense is going backwards. Like, we've seen so much bad offense, and last year exceeded all of that. So it's like, okay, this year you have to take a big step forward, and they're going about the right way. And I'm wondering how much more Rick Spielman played into this, and Muji and people outside of Aaron Glenn said, listen, man, we let you do your way the first year. It's not working. You're staying here, but you're going to change a lot of things here because your process clearly didn't work, and we want to give you the benefit of the doubt. So I'm wondering behind the scenes if anything happened to kind of guide him. I mean, calling plays, it seems like certain things they may have said, listen, we got to really win a little bit here.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how they approach this. Brian with a super chat says defense improved and should be able to keep games close. Geno doesn't have to play superhero. Yeah, I mean, look, can Geno be competent and can the defense be average? If you go from 31 or 32 in every category to like between 16 to 18 defensively, and the offense goes from 32 to somewhere in the 20s, like, is that enough to win 7 games? It might be. The schedule is really tough, though, which does complicate things.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're losing games 24-21 and they're super competitive, are we all really that pissed off? It's like, okay, a competitive loss would work because we weren't even getting that last year. And if you're seeing the defense week in and week out improve, that's all we asked last year. We know you're rebuilding, but just show players getting better, showing improvement, showing you're actually being well coached. Because it seemed like every year they were outmatched on and off the field, right? If Glenn could show, listen, that's really smart play calling. That's really innovative. That's creative. And you're seeing that, like, by the end of the year, like, all right, we have something to build on here. Then we're all encouraged. But this is his defense, his play calls, his players. Make it work. Figure it out. Like, don't find excuses now. Just find answers.
I think that's well said. I actually have what I think is good Jet news, if this report is accurate here. We're talking with Tyson Roush from Let's Talk Jets. You guys got questions, write them in. Zach Rosenblatt from The Athletic, who's been all over the Geno Smith signing. So I think his reporting here has been accurate of late. Give credit to Zach for that. He's reporting this, that the Jets are still exploring options for QB2, the backup to Geno. They had interest in Carson Wentz, but he's unlikely to be signing with the Jets as of now, according to multiple sources. Things can still change, but that's where it stands. This, to me, is great news, Tyson. I don't know how you felt about Carson Wentz, but I want nothing to do with Carson Wentz as the backup quarterback to Geno Smith.
Bring in Andy Dalton, man. I'll take Andy Dalton all day, any day to bring him in here. I want nothing to do with Wentz. I think that was – what's that?
You want a different redhead. I mean, just pick me at that point.
Well, that's fine. You're signed. Let's do this. Yeah, Wentz is just not the answer. I mean, I know Frank Reich loves him, and Boomer Esiason was praising him endlessly on WFAN, but I'm out, dude. And he's not even like that charismatic guy that you bring in the locker room. Everybody loves him and gravitates to him, and he's this great mentor and leader. None of that. So, yeah, I'm excited about that one.
I think Carson Wentz is just not a good fit. He's been hurt a lot. Everywhere he goes, there's just always like some issues with his relationships with teammates that kind of follows him around. A couple of options for the Jets that I'd be interested in. I want someone with some sort of upside. Like, for example, Will Levis might suck. He might, but I'd rather him be the backup. So if Geno gets hurt or he stinks, at least we're playing someone with some sort of upside. It does nothing for me if you have Carson Wentz as the backup. If you bring in Andy Dalton, that's okay too. I think they're going to draft someone at some point. But to me, take a chance on Will Levis, or even, one of my callers, Gary 3D Boxing loves Spencer Rattler. Take a chance on Spencer Rattler. I'd rather that guy be the backup than Carson Wentz. So I hope the Jets pivot to something like that. I also could see them bringing in Tyrod Taylor, because I did hear Geno Smith say to Josina Anderson that him and Tyrod work out together in the offseason. They have a great relationship. So I could see Tyrod being brought back. And then if they do draft Ty Simpson or a different quarterback, hey, Tyrod, you're basically the quasi QB coach for that rookie we're drafting.
Yeah, and Tyrod Taylor's a phenomenal person, great leader, great locker room guy. He'll come back cheap. So just say if you give him, $2 million a year to come back, you're paying $5 million for 2 veteran quarterbacks. That's a slam dunk for the Jets.
Yeah, 100% with you. Big Fella says Will Levis with his O-line would be very interesting. Jamie and Sherwood for Will Levis. Let's make a deal, Robert Saleh.
Sold. Get him out of here. I'm good with that.
Let's make a deal. Let's see. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. We got Tyson Roush from Let's Talk Jets with us. We had Jeff Parles on with us earlier. If you guys have a question, make sure you write it in, and we'll put it up on the screen. Give me your thoughts on Demario Davis. Let's talk more about him. Just specifically, your memories of him his first go around. It's now his third stint with the Jets. And what do you expect from him at age 37 now as the anchor in the middle of the defense?
He is the prototypical leader, culture changer, great man on and off the field. Like, we were fortunate enough to interview him when he was a Jet, like three or four times, went to his charity events. Players love him and respect him, but he leads by example, no nonsense. And the thing is, like, he's 37 years old, so you know what you're getting. Like, if he lost a step, fine. You got to rotate him out in passing situations, fine. But it's what everybody's going to follow him. You have a voice. Like, Aaron Glenn can go to sideline, talk to him. Like, he brings it in and communicates his message. Like, you always said you need that leader in the locker room. Like, Rex Ryan had Bart Scott and Jimmy Leonard. Demario Davis would be that for Aaron Glenn. So the age, it is what it is. The price tag wasn't bad. He may not even be here next year for all I know with Demario Davis. But I think it's at this point where the Jets are at right now, I respect the move. And it's, you just see what he brings to the table. Hopefully he keeps, has that high standard he had last year. He's a great player, man.
I'm with you. And look, at the end of the day, like, you look at the structure of the contract, it's basically a one-year deal. Like, a lot of these commitments don't affect the Jets long-term, which is another reason why I'm high on Muji. I think they've gotten good value and have not messed with, like, the idea if it doesn't work with Glenn, you can have a pretty clean reset, top pick in the draft, get the quarterback aligned with the new head coach and go from there. Do you think the addition of Demario Davis frees up Sherwood to be a better player now? It takes pressure off him, different defense, but he doesn't have to be like the focal point. Maybe Sherwood returns to his roots. Maybe he becomes the player that we want him to be. I hope so. I think you could be onto something there if they keep him. Because my big thing a year ago, I understand the roster was probably not as good as we once thought. I don't think guys like Jamian Sherwood and Quincy Williams, who were really good, just forgot how to play football altogether. I think last year's coaching staff, and it's evident by the fact he fired basically everyone after a year, was the worst assembled coaching job I have ever seen. And I never thought I'd see a worse coaching job than either Gase's last year or the Ulbrich experience when they fired Saleh after 5 games. Yeah, they were dazed and confused last year, man. They had no idea what they were doing. And as more adversity struck, they mailed it in, and they were completely overwhelmed. And I was even pissed off when they fired Wilkes that Glenn didn't take it over then. Like, call plays then, dude. This is your team. Figure it out and find ways to make your players better. Now you got rid of Jermaine Johnson. Okay. Now you get do something with Will McDonald at least. Like, make something out of this young talent that you have on your team. I think that's well said. Let's see. Oscar says Tyson's the GOAT. He's Jake's #1 guest. There we go.
Good job.
Appreciate you, Oscar. Thanks for tuning in. Chris says, could the Jets trade Sherwood and get a draft pick in return? He makes a lot of money. It's tough to try. I mean, it probably would be similar to what they just did with the Geno Smith deal, where the Raiders paid most of it and the Jets were able to basically, flip a late pick. The Raiders moved up around. I mean, you're not going to get much for Sherwood, unfortunately. He's making a lot of money and he's coming off a bad year. And you kind of get the feeling that, Aaron Glenn gets kind of like arrogant sometimes, where he kind of maybe wants to make it work with Sherwood. Like, listen, we paid him. We're going to make it work. He's actually a really good player. He was just at like a bad fit last year or whatever. Like, sometimes I feel like the Jets get like that. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm talking about. It's just like they want to prove us wrong. Like, no, we made a mistake last year, but this guy's actually pretty good. So we'll see. Yep, I think that's well said. Give me your thoughts on this draft now. We haven't spent a ton of time yet talking about the draft. What's your early feel with what the Jets could potentially now do with their 2 first-round picks? Well, they just signed that guard, which was my concern going into this, where it's like, you didn't want to, you have a good offensive line. I kind of wanted to bring John Simpson back, but the money he got was crazy. AVT, I knew they weren't going to be in the market for him, but you want that stout offensive line. We talked about it early. Protect Geno Smith, run the football. Don't get cheap with the offensive line. Don't get cute. They signed here, but you still get that feeling like it's in play at 16, right? You get that, it's just kind of where I feel with that. And then I want playmakers. You need another wide receiver. That's a priority. In free agency, they haven't gotten anybody. Maybe Jawan Jennings. I don't think he's signed yet, but I don't think they're making that big splash at wide receiver. So you need that tag team partner for Garrett Wilson. It's a must. So, you're looking at guard, wide receiver, probably need a safety again. There's some definitely needs. And then at 2, you're probably going to go. See, for 2, it's interesting because I'm at best player available on defense. And who do you consider that? Everybody's saying Bailey, Reese, could be Sonny Styles. You can make a really good case for Sonny Styles if you wanted to. And that just comes down to preference at this point. How do you project them and who do you feel is the best fit? Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And to me, I understand the appeal of taking that Penn State guard, Vega Ione, who's supposed to be like a top 10 talent, and you get great value at 16 maybe. But like even still, it's a guard. Like you can't just find a guard in the second round or third round like normal teams. Like you've already invested a premium pick at both tackles in the first round. You've invested a high pick at center. Like to me, receiver has got to be the play if you could get one of the guys you like in that spot. Because look at the value of the number 2 receiver in free agency. The money's insane. You'd get that guy on a rookie deal. If Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, even Jordan Tyson, I know there's some injury concerns, but still the value's too good to pass up. If any of those 3 make it to 16, I'm running in the card if I'm the Jets.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like every year, especially with the Jets, I see a Dirk Jet fan saying, this is a great wide receiver class. I think I've heard that for the last 5 years. And every year the Jets try to get too cute. Aaron Smith last year, disaster. Like, just get the guy, right? Like, just get that guy that's like, we know who this is. Number one of the best talents in the draft, and we move forward. So I have no problem with that whatsoever. And you made a really good point about the guard. It's like, okay, you have the elite guard. What's the drop off from the elite guard to the 3rd best guard in the draft or the 4th best? Like, you're right there at 33 if you have to. So it's a matter of priority. But you need playmakers on offense, man. You can't be counting on A.D. Mitchell to be legit number 2 contributor at this point.
100%. Comments, questions, super chats. They will cut the line. If you want to call in, we'll do some calls with our guy Tyson Rouch as well. And if you missed Jeff Parles, he was on our show earlier. We got a great giveaway. Our first Geno Smith thing giveaway for those just tuning in. A signed Geno Smith rookie card. Tyson, did you own any Geno Smith jerseys or shirts when he was the Jet quarterback 13 years ago?
I'm not gonna lie. I had some Geno Smith stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie. I did. I actually tried to root for him, man. Like it just fell apart so quickly. But we actually he had a football camp for kids, and he gave a lot back to the kids. So we took a part in that, and it was, listen, man, he was just young, in over his head, and it all just kind of fell apart, and he just got caught in the shitstorm that is the Jets. You know what I mean? So it's kind of where it went with him.
Yeah, and like I think Geno, he's not like he's matured a lot. Like you just hear him talking, he's a different dude. And I think people forget he went 8-8 his first year with the Jets. Like that coaching job by Rex, I think was the most impressive season Rex had as the Jet coach. That roster stunk and they won 8 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like he rubs people the wrong way with his attitude sometimes and how he handled certain situations. That was so long ago. Like look at all he's accomplished since then. You write him off, he bounces back. Then he had some great years. Like he's done a lot of really good things. I even liked he did an interview with Josina Anderson, which was really impressive too, where he talked about making mistakes and rallying back and coming back and being resilient and understanding what he's coming into with the Jets. So it's pretty cool.
Super chat from Benjamin. Go get a Super Bowl, Geno. Shut the haters down. Hey, that's time for that.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back though.
Man, I will do anything for Geno Smith to lead the Jets to a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Let's get 9 wins. Can you imagine that? Like we wouldn't know what to do. We literally, Jay, can you imagine like late December, the Jets are completely relevant. We're like, wait, we're trying to match up. Like you got to win this game and you could do this. Like we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves at this point. Because in December, we're talking draft. Like, so it's like
December. I mean, we were talking draft in like October this year. It's just unreal, man. Unreal. Let's do some calls now, shall we? This guy hasn't called in a long time. Nick T's first today. Hello, Nick.
Yo.
Nick. We can't hear you. Is your mic not connected?
Can you hear me?
Nick.
Good job.
Nick, you call back. All right. We'll try it again. In the meantime, there's a guy on the line who has many points to make.
Get ready for Neil. He will make 13 points about the New York Jets and maybe hump a Patriots jersey. Get ready for Neil. He's probably smoking a big fat cigar and burning his house to the ground. That's Neil.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Hello, Neil.
Tyson, you like that, huh? You like that intro, Tyson?
That's phenomenal. That's awesome.
Tyson, I have a lot of pain in me, Tyson. It's 56 years of pain, my friend.
Yes.
You know, I was at the golf course today out east. It was cold as shit. I have a Jet golf bag, and the guy comes up to me and says, Geno Smith, really? Did we really have to get Geno Smith? That's all I've been hearing, but I'm glad to hear you're positive, Tyson. I listened to you last year, man. You were like ready to jump off a bridge. You were
take it, man.
Oh, man.
It was some of the worst football we've ever seen. It's some of the worst coaching we've ever seen ever. Like it's like you couldn't justify anything you saw on the field. Like You could have fired him during the season last year for all I cared because we knew the things with Jet fans, we know bad coaching when we see it. Like, we know all the red flags. And last year we saw all the signs of like, oh, I know this. I've seen that before. I've seen this. Like, well,
oh, dude, Glenn checked off every box of horrific coach you could have. It was unbelievable. And I covered 2 one-and-done coaches when I did radio for 6 years in Houston. I did the David Culley, Lovie Smith back-to-back on the radio every day. So like that's why part of my criticisms of Glenn, like I know what it looks like. I lived it twice.
Right. I think he's going to be in his element now, call in the defense. You know, I'm sure he'll have a lot of help from Frank Reich. And, you know, look, if he could call the defense, we have some experience up the middle now in safety and linebacker. I'll tell you, Muji's doing a good job getting, you know, some discounts off the shelf. I will say that. I want to ask you guys, what's your thought of maybe going with like Joe Flacco as a backup, you know, as something to come in? You know, he with an offensive line, Flacco could play well, and he's a good backup. What's your thoughts on that?
I wonder if he would want to go to the Jets, or would he rather be a backup on a more contending team? I feel like he'd make a lot of sense for the Raiders. They're interested in Kirk Cousins. They want someone for Fernando Mendoza. I could see that. I don't know. I feel like Flacco might have better opportunities. I think Andy Dalton, Neil, is probably more likely because he feels expendable, and he's got the relationship with Reich.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he does have a relationship with Reich? I didn't know that. Where did he play with Reich, Jake?
Carolina.
Oh, he did play with him there? Yeah, the red rifle's not bad. That would be nice for you, Jake, you know, having a little redhead there to go along with you.
That's right.
You know?
I'd take him over Carson Wentz if we're going to do redheaded backup quarterbacks.
Yes. I mean, look, Carson Wentz, it doesn't really hit the excitement button. And again, I trust we have to just decide, you know, Frank Reich's going to decide what he wants, and whatever he wants, we have to accept. I'm putting in my $100 bet, and I'm going to take a nice group of Asmaniacs to the Super Bowl. Tyson, do you understand that 100 every year I bet the Jets to go to the Super Bowl, because I would have to take my family and it would cost $100,000 to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So when it does happen, it's going to be like the most expensive thing ever. So usually I get 500 to 1, 250 to 1. I had two championships in 9 and 10 where I would have got about $30,000 or $40,000 on 500. Do you understand that $100 today gets you $2.5 million to win the Super Bowl? It's unconscionable.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have $100 on it just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Only because $2.5 million, I could take a few Asmaniacs and we'll be flying private and having the time of our lives.
Neil, Venmo me $100. I'll take the bet for you.
Yes, I know. I was thinking about that. You're going to put it on the other thing. The only problem is I'd have to hunt you down if we won. You know, I'd have to have a bodyguard next to you. You would flee New York like a bat out of hell. I'd be looking all over for you. But that $2.5 million, I'd have to. Oh, Neil, you know, I have to pay taxes. I have to do that. I have to do this. No, I'll make the bet myself. No problem, Jake.
Also, they're saying the math is not mathing. It didn't sound right to me. Are you sure it's not $1,000 to win?
No, 25,000 to 1 is 2.5 million. I Googled it because when you said it was 200, you said it was 25,000 for 100. And I said, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. I Googled it.
$25,000. You're saying I don't think it's 2.5 million. I think your math is wrong.
No, I Googled it. 25,000 to 1 on $100 is 2.5 million.
Now I'm being confused. Chat, is Neil correct, or I'm bad at math, so Neil might be right, but the chat is saying it's wrong.
I Googled it. 25.
Coach Oglick is saying $100 wins 25K. That's what I thought.
No, not at 25,000 to 1. It's at least 250,000, if not 2.5 million.
It's already dropped.
I mean, you got to go by the zeros. So I Googled it, Jake. I swear to you.
250 to 1 odds, though. That's what the 25,000 odds is. 150K now. So no. People are dead. The chat is all over the place. It's 2.5 million, says Jay. And then Jay says, you're wrong. Good guy says it's 25K. I actually don't know how much the bet would be. I'll open up FanDuel right now. And try
You do it while we're on here. I'm curious.
FanDuel's going to love this, by the way, when I send them this here check. Hey, we're trying to figure out how much betting on the Jets to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Not only that, Jake, could you imagine if we were getting to the Super Bowl, right? You know how they have all these like wacky bets? Like there's that furniture guy. Who's that guy that bets like millions of dollars?
Oh,
And
I know you're talking about.
yeah, who the hell is that guy? We would be the only bet for the Jets to win the Super Bowl at 25,000 to 1. They would say, "Oh, here's the Super Bowl. I'd probably have 5 people to interview me for that $2.5 million."
Could you imagine?
That, look.
Can you imagine if Geno did that actually, though? Actually, this, like, we're sitting here now laughing about this. Imagine this actually happens. We're in the Super Bowl with Geno Smith. That would be the wildest thing in the NFL. It's
what's it
$100 would win 25. My camera won't focus here on my phone. Would win 25,000. It'd be $100 to win 25,000. That's what it would be.
Okay.
Oof. We just lost a couple $1 million.
There it is. I don't know where you're getting 2.5 million from. It didn't sound right, but I'm like, I'm bad at math, so I'll believe you. But you're worse than me.
All right, there it is. 25 grand for $100.
You just crushed all our dreams.
I know. Jesus Christ. All right, as usual. As usual. But anyhow, like I said, I just wanted to come on. I wanted to make Jeff Parles make the bet that he's in Vegas. I wanted to have a few laughs with Jeff, but he obviously would have came to that same conclusion. It's 25,000. That's very deflating. That still would get us a ticket to the Super Bowl. What do you think a ticket would be?
Maybe
for the Jets,
right? For the Jets to get in the Super Bowl,
15 grand to sit up by the lights somewhere.
I know.
It would be the most expensive Super Bowl ticket of all time if the Jets are ever in the Super Bowl. It would be like it'd shatter records. It'd be the most expensive sports ticket of all time,
easily.
I mean, you can't go. Look, the odds are with us to make the playoffs because we're already at year 16 now. I mean, you can't go much longer than 16 just to make a playoff.
Oh,
and
you
once
can.
you can, but you flip the coin 25 times. It's got to. I mean, 15 times. It's got to come up heads once in our lives here.
The Jet fans getting a little crazy.
I love how Neil, after all the pain, could still find a way to be positive. I mean, eventually, I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think it's going to be in 2026. So then, like, the earliest is probably 27 with maybe the rookie quarterback paired with a new coach. Maybe, like, it's tough.
What is your take on the whole kicker situation? The whole Nick Folk is gone. Today signed Cade York is like not signing anybody. So were you surprised that Folk is gone?
I am surprised. I don't like it. I will give the Jets the slight benefit of the doubt because I'm fair when I have reasons to be. Banjo, I think, is a hell of a coach, and they found McNamara out of nowhere, and I was critical of them getting rid of Morstead, and McNamara was great. So I'm hoping they could find another good young kicker. And I think it's risky because I think Falk is still awesome, but I will not go crazy yet because I will give them the benefit of the doubt because I think Banjo and that unit earned it after how well they performed last year.
All right, I'm going to ask you a very controversial question. This can ruffle a lot of feathers, Jake. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
It's March 11th. Your official take on Ty Simpson.
If he's there at 33, I'd take him.
Yep, I'm with you.
I'd take a chance. Because, again, imagine if he hits, you don't need to use a first-round pick on any of the quarterbacks next year, and you could trade out and get even more picks or just take 3 great players in a stacked draft. Or if it doesn't work, okay, fine. But at the end of the day, like if Geno doesn't work out and it's Andy Dalton, like I'd rather go to Ty Simpson for the final 10 games and have something to watch, something to look at, like what happened with the Saints and Tyler Shuck. If it doesn't work out, okay, sucks to lose pick 33, but you still have pick 44. Like you either have a quarterback or you don't. I think 16 is too rich for a guy with 15 career starts. But if he's there at 33, jet up, baby. I'm pulling the trigger.
Jets, Jets. I think that was a great get, by the way. Now, the question is there any world where you trade up from 33 to get him?
I don't know how much I'd be willing to give up to move back into the end of round 1. I think they don't have a third, so it makes it tricky. Would I trade? They have 2 forts. Would I trade one of my forts and pick 33 to move back into like pick 28 or pick 29 if that's what it would take? Yeah, I think I would do that. Not having a third, though, is tough. Would they trade a third and 27 to do it? That's the only way you could probably make that happen. That's what the Giants gave up. If you remember, to move back in to get Dart, they only had to trade an extra third to get back in.
Yeah, I like him, man. I like him as well. Like not 16, but 33. I would do it. It's worth a shot. If you keep taking shots, man, until you find a guy. And the kid has a lot of things about I like him that if you develop him correctly and you have some patience, you have some faith in Frank Reich. Why not, man?
I mean, again, if he's good, awesome. If he's not, you can move on easily because he's pick 33. It's not pick 2 or pick 16.
Yep. I agree. Completely agree.
All right, more calls. Nick T, let's see if we can hear you this time.
Better?
Much better.
Awesome. Sorry, guys. Put you on the double monitors. Got all screwed up. So
Good job.
Yeah. No, so far I think free agency's gone so well. But I mean, do you guys think this corner from Chicago is the number one corner? I know he had a Pro Bowl year last year. Do you think he's viable for a number one corner? Like,
I think he's more of a 2, but he had a really good year. He's boomer bust is what Bears fans would say about him. But he's got a nose for making plays on the football, which is something the Jets have no idea what to do. So I like it. Good value for $6 million.
Competition can't get enough competition, especially when you have AZ Thomas coming off injury. You're not really sure what you're getting at him. He's got a lot to prove, so why not, man? And the more ball hawks, the better at this point. Guys that create turnovers, that are aggressive, works for me.
Yeah, I like where the defense is at. So let me ask you guys generally, what do you think overall is going to happen with this Max Crosby situation now that has the value declined, or like where's he at with the?
He's a throw-in.
Are my knees better than this guy at this point? Can I walk better than this guy, Jake?
So he's a throw-in in the Geno deal. I don't know if you saw the news, Nick. The Raiders needed to try and unload Max Crosby, and they put him in the Geno Smith trade.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a lot of teams that could use Max Crosby. The question is, what's his value now? Like, they're not going to get 2 1s for him. So what's the most they could get for him? And do they just keep him at this point? Are they better off doing that? If he goes out there, balls out, can he restore his value? It's a crazy situation. I have it on mute, but I have NFL Network on in front of me. And the Ravens GM DaCosta is speaking about what happened, said, quote, nobody's more upset than me, gutted by it, big regret for me, but we'll move on as a football team.
Yeah.
Like that. So I'm real curious on like how far his value has declined because of all this. And like you mentioned, like just throwing it out there, the value is there. Like pick 33. I consider offering them that if I don't know where we are with cap right now, but I mean, he's a hell of a player. Like take a shot on a guy who's literally.
You'd offer pick 33? Yeah, hell yeah, man. They're going to want more.
But I don't know. Like, how far has he declined? I mean, before I'm
not to just pick 33, you'd have to start with like pick 16 and a first next year.
Well, I mean, it was 2 1s that he just like. I don't know how far that
16
that medical,
in both 2s. You'd have to start with something of value. They're not just going to give him away. He's one of the best players in the league.
But it's also look at the state of the Jets right now too, man. We're not one player away. That's like a win now team making a win now move. We need, like, as good as a player as he is, even when he's got these issues, those picks we need, man. We need all those contributors in all those spots. I understand what you're trying to do. I'm just not sure I would do it for the Jets.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, in terms of where we're at, I don't know cap-wise where we're at, like, opportunistic, like, the Fitzpatrick deal was opportunistic, right? Like, that was just, they were going to cut him or relative, like, it was, we'll take a 7th for him, right? I don't know that, again, Crosby's a completely different player in the prime of his career. Agree, but I'm just saying with the medical, I don't know how much that declines his value. And I'm curious if, 33 is legitimately considered essentially a first-round pick, right? So, like,
it needs to be more than that, though. Max Crosby's a star. You're going to get at least a premium first and then some.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
Fair enough. But who you guys see the Jets, like, are they signing a wide receiver 2 in free agency, and who's still available at this point?
I think they draft someone. I don't know how you feel, Tyson, but I feel like all the top receivers, and I use top loosely because it's a bunch of 2s that are being paid like low-end 1s in a lot of cases. I think they're gone.
What's the story of Brian Thomas Jr. right now? They said there was a market, there wasn't a market, on the table, off the table. Like, what's your guys' opinion on him?
Sounds like they're far apart on what his value is, but they're definitely listening. Anyone saying they're not listening, it's not true. Clearly they're listening and they haven't gotten what they wanted. So they're like, oh, we're not trading him, but they definitely listened.
But what would you offer? Would you offer 33 for him? Like what would be your max offer for him?
I think I'd do 44.
Yeah.
I do. And honestly, I think setting up the team with 2 wide receivers, like him and Garrett needs someone opposite him. Him and Thomas would be great.
Desperately.
Yeah. So, I mean, any of the 2 I'd be fine with, because I still think I like Aller. I don't know if Aller will be there at 44. So I like any of the quarterbacks in the second
44
round.
for Aller?
If they take Drew Aller at 44, I am going to bang my head through a table.
I'm out.
He's dropped that. He's not projected that high.
Yeah, he's not projected to go till day 3.
Oh my, 44, I'd be out. That would give me like Hackenberg flashbacks.
Oh my God. You can't do that. We're bringing Geno back, so now we're gonna get our Hackenberg type of move. God. More of your calls right now. Let's say hello to Bob up and down, who thinks the Jets are going to take Ty at 2. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Jake. They are going to take Ty at 2, and I'll explain why. Frank Reich would not have come here unless he knew who the quarterback was going to be and that he was coming here to groom a quarterback. I don't think Ty Simpson is going to be there at 16. Quarterbacks always get overdrafted. He's a better prospect than a lot of the guys who have come out in the last few years that have been drafted in the top 10. You can go through the list. He's a better prospect. He's a better prospect than McCarthy. He's a better prospect than Penix. He's a better prospect than a lot of them.
I don't know about that. Penix had way more starting experience and was in the national championship game his last year.
He's a better prospect than Richardson. Quarterbacks get overdrafted. And this time last year, all the talking heads were saying that Dart was going to go in the 4th round, and he ended up in the 1st round. Okay.
End of the 1st round, though, and he has way more starting experience than Ty Simpson. He started 15 career games.
Simpson's played better.
For 8 games.
Simpson played better than who? Than Dart?
Than Dart, yeah.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He did not. Go look at Jackson Dart's college stats. He did not.
Kicked. He got his ass kicked, and
you just said he played better than Jackson Dart. That's objectively false, Bob. Come on, be fair.
No, to my eye, he looks like a better quarterback. But besides the fact, aside from my opinion, everything we have done is projecting that this is what we are going to draft a quarterback in the 1st round. Okay. Geno Smith, I don't think is being brought here to be the quarterback. He's being brought here to help groom a quarterback.
That's what you do.
Thank God his call dropped because I couldn't listen to that any longer.
It was making me sweat, dude. I was like, there was somebody, my head was ready to explode.
Oh my God. They basically told Geno he's starting. Could they take Ty? Yeah, absolutely. Could they take him as early as 16? I think they could. Are they going to take him at 2? There's no chance they're taking him at 2. It's not happening. They're set up with 3 1s in 2027. All signs point to them either taking a swing at some point outside of 2 and probably 16, but we'll see. And or they're just going to wait till next year when they have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, and they brought Frank Reich in. He's basically the head coach of the offense. He's going to have a lot of say in the offense, a lot of say in the quarterback. They gave him a lot of power on that side of the ball, but I don't think they guaranteed him, like, you're going to definitely draft your quarterback this year. I don't think that happened, man.
So Ty Simpson, I'll look up his stats in a moment, but Jackson Dart in his last year, 70% completion percentage, almost 4,300 yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The year before that, he started another 13 games, 65% completion percentage, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 3,364 yards. These are just his passing stats. We know Dart obviously used his legs a lot. Ty Simpson is a 1-year starter, 15 career games at Alabama. And Ty Simpson this past year, he threw for 3,567 yards, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 65% completion percentage. Dart had better numbers over a 2-year sample size where he was a starter at Ole Miss. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about you like about Ty Simpson is you see a lot of raw talent. You see a lot of things. You wish you went back for 1 more year. Like, give him that 2nd year of experience, then come to the NFL. But it's literally like he's not a day 1 starter. He's a guy you have to groom very well, and that's, you have to count on Frank Reich there. But that's at 2 would be wild, dude. I mean, that would.
By the way, I misspoke when I said that Dart started 2 years at Ole Miss. He had 3 years starting at Ole Miss. Here again, these were Jackson Dart's numbers. They're on the screen because he transferred from USC. He played a lot of college ball. That's why people ended up liking Dart. I had concerns taking him in round 1 because he didn't have a lot of starts from under center in his college career. They ran a spread with Lane Kiffin's offense there, but like, Dart is a much better prospect than Simpson. Just again, Simpson would be an outlier if he's successful. If you take him in the 1st round, I'm more comfortable taking the swing because why not? You're starting 36-year-old Geno this year. Yeah. Rather have Ty waiting in the wings if the Jets get off to this brutal start and see what you have in him. But I don't think they're going to take Ty at 16. If I had to guess, I think they only take him if he makes it to 33, and there's no guarantees even there.
And to be honest with you, I wish they drafted a quarterback last year. I think it took a flyer late in the draft last year. And they wasted a lot of picks to tail into the draft last year. Take a flyer on Will Howard. Take a flyer on anybody. Get him in the building to have somebody come in this year to compete against whoever you have to. Like, just Yeah, that was kind of disappointing. I know they're counting on Jordan Travis, but dude, I don't like the way they handled last year at all.
Here were Ty stats for those who are watching right now. You could see like he had a nice year at Alabama. It wasn't as bad as what some said, but there were some issues there, and it wasn't just him. But again, I'm not going to sit here and say let's take Ty Simpson at 2 just because they signed Geno. They signed Geno to start. They needed a bridge quarterback. Yeah,
100%. And the way Simpson's season ended too, with all the injuries and just getting beat up, it's kind of went out on a whimper there.
No doubt. Have you ever met the Beast who calls into my program?
I've watched your chat demand this guy, so I'm worried about this, to be honest with you. I don't trust you either. I don't trust you at all. So
Look, I don't trust myself.
What does everybody?
Hey, Beast, you there?
What is going on?
Hey.
Beast. Beast, we're on the air. Get off the FaceTime with Rat and Gator.
I'm putting an apron on. I'm putting my spatula in one hand, and I'm putting an apron, and I'm putting my hat on.
Beast, get off your ass. We're on the air.
I like the posters. The posters are
Well,
incredible.
as long as I take care, hey, everybody better stay clear. When I'm cooking, I'm cooking. That's the way it's gotta go. I will catch you boys in a bit. Okay? Keep your heads up. Business people, everybody's got them. How you boys
business
doing?
people? That was Gator and Rat Diddy. You're lying to the audience. There's no business there. You call your friends business people? What type of friends are these of yours?
Hey, good bit. They're great business people.
I know exactly who you were talking to. You were talking to Gator and Rat Diddy, who are on vacation together, like two lovers that they are in Las Vegas.
Whoa, hey, keep your pants on. Don't get freaky.
Calm your freaky down.
Beast, I want you to meet Tyson Rauch. She's a big fan of your work.
What's up, man?
Buenos dias. No, this is Tyson Rauch here.
That's
How
correct.
you doing, Chief?
What's up, man? How you doing, man? Your background is sick, dude. I love that background.
Well, most of my bands come from all over the world, and I also added a couple new namers. Oh, let's see, Ferox, Haley's Comet, and also some other rarities that nobody knows nothing about. And I'm bringing them with me onto this Death to Destruction tour. There's gonna be it's big. It's gonna be a big smash. Death has been added, Destruction's been added, Haley's Comet, Ferox, even some rarities that nobody knows nothing about.
There you go.
Surprise, surprise. Nunchy, wiki.
Beast, what's on the agenda today?
I just had a salad. And
Really?
right now,
salad?
Yeah, I got it from Fairport for $4.
A salad? When was the last time you had a salad? 1987?
What you see is what you get.
Oh, I know.
Calm your freaky down.
What?
Calm your freaky down.
Well, Beast, I got other callers here, so I got to run, but let's quickly pause for today's sponsor.
Are you tired of grilling outdoors? Are you tired of having to go to the kitchen to cook? Thanks to Beast's Ultimate Taste Tool, my troubles are over. Sure, it's a little smoky, but who cares? Look, I even got a bucket to shit in so I never have to leave my room. Now you're cooking with butt.
All right, we're back. We got Tyson Rouch with us here.
What is going on here?
Welcome to the Jake Asman Show, man. This is what we do. Ray Winter with a super chat in the raffle for 2. What do you guys think of Oregon tight end? Kenyon Sadiq is an option at 16. I think he could be in play. I haven't seen him on too many mocks yet. Love the show as always. Ray, thank you. Tyson, I hand this over to you. Your thoughts on tight end Kenyon Sadiq at 16?
He's my weak spot, dude. He is my weak spot. I like him a lot as a player. It would kind of have to be how the wide receiver board plays out. Like if there's a run of wide receivers, but he's a tremendous player, man. It would be, you could do so many things to him in the offense. And I don't even care about Mason Taylor, man. I think this kid's just built different. I like him a lot. 16 could be a little aggressive, but if you go Sadiq over, say, wide receiver 3, like it's wide receiver 4, I don't know. But what do you think? He's got a lot of talent.
I prefer the receiver, but Sadiq is a freak.
Yep.
I do prefer the receiver. I can't sit there and be against it. It would be kind of ironic, though, if they ended up drafting him after we went through 2 years of just screaming at each other, debating Bowers, and before that, and last year Warren and Loveland, and then they just take a tight end that where we're not really talking about tight end at all.
Yeah, no, that would be Yeah, he's the one guy that I wouldn't question at all, and I wouldn't mind it whatsoever.
Super chat from Danger Zone. Sorry I missed this earlier, Dane. What else did Neil Google? Can we make this a bit? Neil, call back in and you let us know what you Googled because people are fascinated. More calls right now. Southern Jet is on the line. Hello, Rich.
Hey, Tyson.
What's up, man? Long time no talk.
Yeah, a lot of history with Jet Nation.
Yes, sir.
Say hi to Glenn next time you talk to him for me, will you?
Absolutely.
I like, well, ever since Brissett, they said they were going to start him. I think everybody's been talking the room we got, right? We're going to get with Dalton and Gino. But my main point is I really like everything that's been going on in these 3 days now, because it sets us up for our franchise quarterback in 27, which we then look at 28 as the year of being maybe very competitive, somewhat competitive. We're not being hamstrung by any of these deals. Our cap situation is going to be good. We're signing guys who have done pretty good. They're fairly young, most of them, except for 2 occasions. And they could either shine and then we re-sign them, or we move on and we have the cap. The only thing that I'm befuddled by is that are these guys that are going to save Aaron Glenn's job as opposed to getting some bigger name free agents? Trust me, I don't want Aaron Glenn to have his job. I mean, I want the Jets to win, but I don't want Glenn. I don't see a future with him. And so these are moves to me that are being made by people that are looking out for the Jets' best interest in 2028.
I mean, not really. These are all one-year contracts, though. So they're about winning this year and changing your culture this year and being more competitive this year. I'm not sure.
Well, my point is, I don't think any of these guys are superstars.
No, but they're trying to basically build a program, and you have a bunch. In theory, you have 7 potentially, or 8 if you count next year's second as well. You have 8 premium picks over the next 2 years.
Right.
4 this year, 3 in the first round next year, and then their own second. You're looking at it from the perspective of you need to have some sort of foundation that these young players are stepping into so they learn how to be pros. It was a big problem for the Jets. They didn't have enough leaders, and now the only player left from the first round of 21 and 22 is just Garrett Wilson at this point. Everyone else is gone.
That's what I sort of was saying. I guess I didn't state it right. Is that they're building a good culture in the building, and they're building guys that they could bring back because they're shorter contracts if they do well. But if they don't, in other words, there's none of these 4 or 5 year deals, and none of these huge guaranteed monies. And so if we do get the franchise quarterback in 27 and they play well, we're going to have some money to spend in 28. And so we're going to have draft picks and cap space to lure a high profile coach. Now, as far as Simpson, I'm like Jake, I wouldn't take him too early, but if he's sitting there later, fine. You said move up into the first, Jake. What would you give up? 33 and what?
A 4th. They got 2 fourths.
So it would
the
have
higher
to be
the fourths. I don't want to give up a lot. They don't have a 3rd. I'm not, and I don't want to touch anything in 27.
Yeah, well, that's our bait for a coach too. If we need to hire a coach in 27, a good young, innovative offensive coach is going to not only want cap space and picks, but they're going to want the ability to pick a quarterback, especially if they're offensive minded. And these are all the things where I was trying to get my point across, is that seem to be setting ourselves up for, a possible glorious.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about it. If you can solidify your offensive line, which they've done, you have the offensive line, whatever you do with Brees, you have Garrett Wilson, another playmaker, Mason Taylor. You have this situation where the quarterback's not going to be the savior, just a piece of the puzzle. Run the offense, grow, and it's not like you're chasing, all these, 3rd string wide receivers and nothing. Offensive lines is, a disaster. You're building your foundation right now, which is smart. Get the guard and I'm with you with that. But I also think that what they're doing right now, they could be competitive this year too, though. There is a world. I'm not a big Aaron Glenn fan, but there is a world where he could save his job this year too.
Yeah, that's my only concern is right now I don't have the confidence that he can coach even these better players.
That's fair.
But it could happen. It could happen. I mean, and I want the Jets to win. And the guard we signed, 2 years younger.
Yep.
He's rated 38th, I think, on PFF. Simpson was rated 57th. Simpson had 10 penalties last year. This guy had 5. Now the conundrum and same old Jets crap I worry about is AVT now goes and plays 17 games, while this guy has missed only 2 games in his career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, Jake. I don't even care about that. Like, I mean, it sucks they went to the Patriots, but they weren't going to pay him. He kind of seemed like he wanted out ananyway, so it's like
I wouldn't have paid him. I wouldn't have paid him with his injury history, 2 triceps injuries, and as far as Falk, the kicker, that was an awful lot of money Atlanta gave him. The Jets aren't going to be in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, but it's a kicker salary. It's not that much at the end of the day. Like, now you have a hole,
It's like penny wise, dollar foolish, man. Like, it wasn't a $13 million contract. Like, and the Jets have a ton of cap space too. It's not.
Wasn't it like $8 million over 2?
I guess I just figure that the one shining star is our special teams coach. And does he have a history with this guy, Jake and Tyson?
No, he doesn't. Not that I've seen.
We do
They're
have
going to add another
on,
kicker, though, Rich. This is the first of 2 kickers that they're going to end up adding. So they're not
off
done
the
yet.
waiver wire. They'll bring somebody in.
Yeah, somebody. You have the UFL going on. There'll be some people kicking there. McNamara was a guy that no one knew, and he was arguably their best player as far as like the best at his job on the team.
Yeah.
And there's always veteran cap cuts come the summer.
Yeah, so they'll make some moves.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, Tyson, buckle up for this one because we're headed live to Vegas where Gator and Rat Diddy are standing by.
I heard the gay lovers thing.
Come on, man.
That was not cool. I mean,
it's not true.
It's supposed to be between us. What the hell, man? I mean, geez, did you see this body? I mean, come on, look at this. How could you not?
Man. What?
Calm your freaky down.
This is what it's all about. Rat and Gator in Vegas in the pool. This is so romantic.
I'm rolling around on this guy for 2 days. It's great. No end in sight. Who did we sign? We signed a guard? Is that what happened?
Oh, we got a guard, all right.
Yep.
Who we get?
Dylan Parham. He was on the Raiders. Maybe he's still around Vegas. You could go welcome him to the Jets.
Oh, man, these Raider stores here are unbelievable. There's like Tom Brady posters everywhere. I can't take it.
What casino are you guys at right now?
Mandalay Bay.
Oh, very nice. Love Mandalay Bay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, bullets whizzing by us here every now and then, but we're good.
Jesus. I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah, just got to duck down every now and then,
Oh, come on.
Jeez. I'm not even drinking. My God.
Anyone else you'd like to offend during this call?
Yeah, everybody on the Addy show. Yeah.
and Rat, any final thoughts from you?
I'm glad we got a guard. Obviously, I assume he's going to start left guard. Is that what we're thinking? With what we get? 2 years, $20 million.
Left guard, even less than that guarantee. The actual numbers came out. He'll be the left guard. He's like John Simpson from 2 years ago, basically. But Raiders fans I spoke to like him. They said he's good.
Okay, so now at 16, what are we doing at 16 now with that pickup? Are we sticking wide receiver, hoping that one of the top 3 fall, or what?
That's what I would do. I don't know their thought process. I think the Penn State guard is still in play, and you can move Tippmann to center very easily.
Okay, good. Sounds like good news.
Gentlemen, enjoy Vegas, and don't do anything that we all wouldn't do. All right?
Oh yeah, no, nothing a little Vaseline won't fix.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rat, Diddy, and Gator.
And now let's go back to our show. The Jake Asman Show, live from New York City. Back to the Jake Asman Show. Fucking diarrhea, cha cha cha.
All right, we're back. Great segment there with Gator and Rat. We got some super chats here. Keep it rolling. Gunjo says, Bob, WTF are you smoking? You're nuts if you think Geno can mentor any player unless it's how to throw an interception. That is a tough dig at Geno. He's been in the league a long time. He's been around good quarterbacks. He's played in different systems. I know people think of Geno as Jet Geno. Geno's been around a lot of different schemes, coaches. He's a good veteran mentor at this stage of his career.
Yeah, a lot of people just hate Geno because he's Geno at this point, and they kind of they want to ignore any success he's had or any development he's had.
I think that's 1,000% accurate. Tyson, I know we're up against it here. You got time for at least one more call?
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gustbuster Umbrella hotline right now is an extraordinary man.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary. Gary.
You're on mute, Gary.
Yes, indeed. It's quite extraordinary. It's
me?
quite extraordinary. How's it going, Tyson?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good job.
I'm doing good. Yeah. Can you hear me? So I got a couple of questions, right? It sounds like you might actually believe in Ty Simpson, right? So, like, am I reading that correctly? That you think Ty Simpson might be good?
Me or Tyson?
Tyson.
I think he's got a lot of potential, man. I'm not saying he's a day one starter. I'm not saying take him a 2, but I have no problem taking a flyer on him, man. I'm not as down as everybody else is.
I'm like, I don't want him, but like, if that's your position, what's wrong with taking him at 16? I'm being, it's not a loaded draft. If you think that a year or 2 from now, he could be your starting quarterback for the next 7 years, why not take him at, you're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year anyway, in all reality. Right. If you believe in him, why not take him at 16?
That's a fair question. I think he's not, to me, he's not like 16 to me is like a slam dunk guy where first round talent, got to take him, got to have that. To me, he's a developmental guy where I'd feel just more comfortable just in terms of value there. But I understand what you're saying. But to me, it's not like I get him, I know exactly what I have. I think the Giants, when they went up for Jackson Dart, they knew exactly what they had in him. I think there's concerns. It's just, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I mean, I don't know what you think, Jake. That's kind of just, but it's fair. It's a fair point, though.
This is the lack of starts that concerns me, but I'm willing to take a chance because I do like the upside. And you could talk yourself into Ty pretty easily. Son of a coach, played for Saban, super smart, kind of cerebral with where the NFL is going. Like, you're seeing like the guys that don't need to be like freaks to be successful. Can you process, get the ball out quick? I think he could do a lot of that. I like his personality a lot. Getting a chance to talk with him. It was brief, but I did get a chance to interact with him. That whole jet chant thing wasn't just my full conversation with him, which is what I edited down because we were doing a walk and talk and it was loud and not everything was quality to be able to actually play on a show. I think he's smart and I think he's worth a second round flyer when you have 2 second round picks anyway.
And the other thing too is I think everybody's so down on him because the way his season ended. I think he did John Gruden's quarterback class. I think the more people see of him in the offseason, throughout this whole process, it's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and it's going to grow. And come close to the draft, a lot of opinions are going to change, man, especially when the analysts get involved in the pro days. Like, this is that time of year where things start changing for a lot of players. I think it's going to change for him big time.
Did Gruden like him? Because I really respect Gruden as a quarterback. If Gruden likes him, that because I remember Gruden loved Dart and he hated Quinn. I remember Quinn and Colt McCoy got in a huge debate, and Colt McCoy was like, he's a day 2 draft pick, and Gruden was like, no, he's like a 6th or a 7th round pick. We don't get drafted. I don't mean that to be insulting. And clearly Gruden was right, and Colt McCoy was way off. So I definitely respect Gruden's take on that. If Gruden thinks he's good, that carries a lot of weight for me, at least. Like, okay.
He liked him, but you got to understand, he's not going to trash anyone that does that quarterback show. But like last year, I remember watching
Quinn, though. I mean, he didn't trash Quinn, but he said Quinn's a 7th round pick.
I enjoyed the Dart one he did last year. I think it's going to be awesome. It hasn't aired yet. They recorded it or filmed it yesterday because Gruden sent out the tweet of the two of them together and had nice things to say about Ty in the tweet. Whenever that airs, though, believe me, we'll be all over it as Jeff fans.
100%.
The other thing I want to address, you guys said Drew Aller at 44, you'd throw up. That is early for him. If you said to me, one of these 2 guys are going to be a star quarterback, Ty Simpson or Drew Aller, which one's going to be a star quarterback? I would take Aller. Aller to me has so much upside. I do believe if he would have went last year, he would have went in the 1st round. Like, he's really bad in the short game, and that's a problem in the NFL. but he's really good in the intermediate game, and he's got a really good deep ball. He throws with a lot of velocity. The guys that count the spin rate all love him. Like, all of those people love him. There's a lot of things I like about Drew Aller. This season didn't go well, but if you look at the jump he made from 23 to 24, it's massive. At 23, I thought he was a huge bust. At 24, I thought he was a first-round pick. Like, I would not – it's 44 is early for a guy with a lot of questions mark. And they say they hate his footwork. But when you say something like his footwork sucks, that just tells me I can make this guy even better. Like, when I get a fighter and his feet are a mess, but he's got natural power and natural speed and great timing, okay, I can fix his footwork. I can fix that in one camp, right? Like, so if his problem is the footwork, can't that be solved in by a quarterback coach in a season?
How confident are you in your offensive coaching staff?
Yep.
That's the question. I liked some of Aller's game for sure. I just prefer Ty Simpson. I think, and you asked me who I think would be a better star. I think Ty, if he hits, he could be a legit top 10 quarterback in the league. I really do. I watch him, the processing. I think so much of it is mental. I love his toughness. I met one of his teammates at the Senior Bowl, who was a good friend of Will Parkinson. So I got dinner with him, was hearing all these things about Ty. I think he's a winner, and I think I wouldn't take him in round 1 because 15 starts, that scares me. He'd be an outlier. Yeah. But I had no problem taking him in round 2.
If I said to you, Drew Aller is Jameis Winston, is that worth? I mean, is that a crazy take?
Well, Jameis Winston was the first pick in the draft. He's super talented.
If Drew Aller turns out to be Jameis Winston, it's taking about 44 bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that like a crazy take?
You have a lot of ifs, though, man. You have a lot of questions to think. Well, if this. Every time you say if, it goes down. Like, that's why I wouldn't go in the second round. I'd go in the fourth round. Like, I have more concerns with Aller than I do with Simpson. That's kind of where I'm at.
I'd rather take Aller in the third round, but we don't have a third round pick.
That too.
Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to address was Kenyon Sadiq. I'm fine if they take him at 16. He's a freak. But we can't take Love because we have a running back, but we can take Sadiq when we have a tight end. I'm fine with taking whoever we think the best player available is. I don't think Love's going to go to 16, but let's say Love fell to 16. We can't take Love because we have a running back, but we can take.
I'd take him at 16. That's a different conversation.
Me too. I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Okay. We were talking about Love at number 2. 16 is a different conversation.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a huge Jeremiah Love fan, man. Enormous. So I would done. I'd walk it up myself personally in a heartbeat.
Okay, then fine. If we're good with look, if Sadiq's there at 16, you just get the best players you can on offense, and then get an offensive coordinator who can make it work. Right, that's his job. I'm giving you talent. Make this work. That's if Sadiq's the best player, and he might be, because the receivers might be gone at that point, all 3 of them. So then if they're gone, Sadiq's not a bad option. Now you got to figure out how to put him and Taylor on the field together. Like, that's what we pay you millions of dollars for, to the OC. Like, make it work.
Don't let go of the rope. We got the right coach.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Good call, Gary. We'll see. Tyson, you're the man. Thanks for hopping on for over an hour, dude. Really fun to catch up.
Bro, thank you for having me on, man. We've been trying to do this for, a couple months now, man. So I always have a blast, man. This is a fun. I was over an hour. It's a fun, quick hour.
Flew by, dude. Where can people find Let's Talk Jets if they don't already subscribe?
Just Let's Talk Jets, man. We are uncensored. We're not experts. We're not very football savvy, but we're always opinionated, and we have a lot of fun.
You guys call it how it is. You, Kevin, the whole crew that tunes into your show, that calls in. I love your guys' channel.
It's crazy, man.
Tyson, you're the best, dude. We'll catch up soon.
Yep. Later, man. Thank you.
Tyson Roush with us. I got some people still on the line. I want to get to the last second calls here. We also need some raffle entries if you want to win a Geno Smith signed rookie card that I bought earlier today. And let's give some love to our guy, Cisco Lopez, a 10 spot of channel memberships. Go Cisco. Woo! Following 10 people are channel members, courtesy of Cisco, Ryan Davis, Elysian, Nicole, Linky220, Eddie Lindell, Zachariah, Hunk Matea, Jeffrin Betcher, Mr. Yeagers, all receiving a gifted membership. I forgot one. The like button, Mr. The final recipient there of the generosity from Cisco. Let's go.
It's J-E-T
Yes, Jets. I love Fireman Ed too.
Last chance to enter the raffle. We got a couple calls left. Ladies and gentlemen, before we bring on our next caller, I want to show you guys something that was sent to me earlier today. I don't know what to make of this image that was sent my way. I don't know if this is a good thing. I don't know if this is a bad thing. I'm stalling right now because I not only need to find his intro, but I need to make sure the photo downloads. Ladies and gentlemen, right now it's time to say hello to the incomparable PBM.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Oh, fuck.
Mike?
Yeah, what up? All right, so I got a new tattoo. I'm going to
That's
show
what
it
I'm
off.
trying to pull up right now. But you know what? If you could just show it off, that makes my life easier.
Yeah, show it off. Is it not tilting sideways stuff?
Yeah, hold on. It finally loaded. There it is.
All right, so pop this off. So this is a jiu-jitsu tattoo. You can see it. I'm holding it right. It's like hard to tell with here, but
I have a pretty good view of it.
okay, you can see it because on my screen it's just black.
Oh, I
So,
see it.
There's a face, there's a hand, there's the belt, so it's on the bicep.
And that is what exactly a silhouette of?
That's silhouette of me.
Ah, very
Yeah,
nice.
but it's done tribal. So yeah. So that's it.
Oscar says, "Oh, I see it."
Yeah. So I don't
Is
know
that
why
a
I pulled
parrot?
black.
JD wants to know.
Not a parrot. No, it's a tribal person of me. Do you see the belt in the hand? It's a
I
tribal.
do
jiu-jitsu
see
tattoo.
that.
Yeah, that's probably a good shot of it. I have to like turn my arm in the camera. But
Now,
yeah,
what does PBW think of this?
she likes it.
She's a fan.
Yeah, someone just said it looks like Mike Tyson's face tattoo. Yeah, well, it's also tribal, so yes, it's very similar.
Phantom says the purple belted man with the parrot tattoo.
Hell yeah.
Did that hurt?
No, that's like a good spot. You barely feel anything.
Well, I'm happy that you got some new ink and you're feeling good.
Yeah, man, feeling good. Itching to get back. Another couple months.
Is there a jet take you have, or you just wanted to show off the tattoo?
I don't know if he made any moves today. I haven't been following.
Oh, they made moves all right.
What they do?
Dylan Parham signed to be the new left guard. Michael Clemons left, so that feels like a win. He signed with
Yep.
the Colts.
Thank God. That guy
We brought
sucks.
back Max Mitchell. For some depth.
Oh, Max Mitchell too. So we got some depth.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Mike, enjoy the tattoo.
Hell yeah. Let's go Jets, baby. Oh, and anyone that saw the game last night with the Islanders, I thought we were cooked. It was 4-0, and then it got called back, and then we scored. And then the comeback kids come again, baby. We win in overtime. 10-0. Barzy with the beauty. Let's go. Let's go, Islanders, baby. Let's go.
LGI. Hell yeah. Great Islander win last night. Crazy sports night yesterday. Crosby trade falls apart. The USA baseball debacle. Bam scoring 83 points. Lou B in the house. Muji is unbelievable. Lou B's in full bloom love. He's going to try and tongue Muji at the draft this year. I can't wait. All right, a couple calls left, and then we will get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, Knowledge the Jedi is on the line. I don't recognize this name. Hello, Knowledge.
Hey, how you doing, Jake? First time
What's up, man?
caller, long time Jets fan. Hey, how you doing, my brother? Hey, I want to talk about the draft. I feel we should take Styles at number 2 because if we're gonna get a linebacker on edge, we need somebody that could play also in coverage. He's really good at coverage after he transferred from safety. So if you put him there, he could be a good hybrid. And he's always around the ball. He communicates good. And with us getting DeMario Davis, he could coach him up and make him a professional fast. Also, at 16, I think we could get a receiver or a guard. But if we go receiver and the top 3 are gone, we could go Omar Cooper Jr.
Knowledge, the Jedi, needs some better Wi-Fi. Good first call, though, Knowledge. I'll put you in the raffle for 2. A little connection issue there. I think 2 is probably too high to take Styles, although he's a great player. I think Reese is too appealing. You're talking about linebacker play. Reese could do that, and I think he could be an elite edge rusher. So I think you got to keep that in mind. Will says, Jake, is there going to be an Asmaniac motel or hotel in Pittsburgh? Wondering before I book a room. Let me check in on that. I got to look to see where I'm staying. I'll talk with Lou B, who's taking care of the arrangements for me in that area, and I'll find out some info on that. But off the top of my head right now, I don't have like an Asmaniac set hotel. I'd recommend stay wherever you could stay, and then we'll be at McFadden's all day for day 1 and tonight 1. But I will look into that. Lou B, you're in the chat. What's the name of the hotel we're staying at? The finest Red Roof Inn. We are not staying at a Red Roof Inn. Although there's nothing wrong with a Red Roof Inn. Right, Beast?
¿Qué pasó, eh? I got
Exactly.
ribs. I'm cooking ribs right now.
You're cooking ribs in the attic?
No, it's in the kitchen. I got them cooking in the oven. Fresh, boneless ribs. Very good. And I used good shit. The seasoning, good stuff. You ain't seen nothing. And I got it on a slow cooking. Lord. Let me say it a little more slower. Slow cooking. Oh, God. This guy again. This neurotic Goomba scoundrel / scumbag.
See, the first thing he does is he goes insults, and then he goes racial too. And of all the avenues you could have get, you go after me being Italian. Of all the avenues you could have won, we go ethnic. All right, how can I help you?
I don't want no help from you.
I
know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run roughshod, and then when it's you and me in the finals, you're going to get smoked. I'm gonna Booker T you one way or the other. It's either gonna be a Harlem hangover of 5,000 degrees of massive heat, or you're gonna get the nice taste of a five-time French fries.
No, man. You said you were gonna go what? You were gonna go what? Were you gonna run?
Five-time French fries. I'll follow you.
Say rough shout again. Say rough shout again. That was interesting.
It's gonna get hot. It's gonna get hotter than 10,000
Say rough
degree
shout
heat.
again. That was good. Say rough shout.
When you play with Harlem Heat, your ass is gonna get cooked.
You know you're not actually. You know that you're not. I know who Harlem Heat is. I'm the same age as you. You know you're not actually Booker T, right? You're just some fat white guy in your mom's attic. Like that's you're not actually Booker T.
You know what you are, Gary? You are a deranged, delusional, mentally psychotic, sick, twisted, idiotic, brain dead, fried egg, drug lord, blowhard.
From the moment Jake puts him on, all he does is insult people. From the moment Jake puts him on, it's just insults.
This is your brain.
Okay. Maybe one day I'll be smart like you. Who knows?
This is your brain.
Maybe one day I'll be smart like you. Yeah.
This is your brain.
Yes, that's
Asmaniac Madness is underway. Make sure you vote to make your voice heard.
Man, those two are just the best when they rumble. There's nothing like it. I hope we get that matchup in the Final Four. 2 1 seeds. And Beast, you look great. I hope your ribs are tremendous. We'll check back in with you shortly before we get to the raffle here. Last chance to vote. The lane train right now is dominating. I feel like I haven't really talked about the matchup this afternoon because it's been a bloodbath. The lane train doing what he does. Dominates in the tournament. He's a part of one of the biggest blowouts we've ever had in the history of this tournament. Last year, Lane Train was responsible for the 3rd biggest blowout in the history of the tournament. 81-18 over 25. Right now, it's 79-21 Lane over Jams. I got time for 2 more calls, and then we close voting and do a raffle. Derek and then David T will close this out. Hello, Derek.
Hey, Jake. How we doing, brother, man?
What's up, man?
Not much. I was just gonna make a couple brief points here. I was wondering what you would maybe think about bringing Tyrod Taylor back for a year instead of looking outside the building for a
I
backup
brought this
quarterback.
up earlier. Geno Smith said him and Tyrod are close and trained together in the offseason. Didn't know that. I'm in on Tyrod as the backup. I'd rather him over Carson Wentz, that's for sure. I think I still would rather someone maybe with more of an upside, but I'm good with Tyrod being brought back. I could live with that.
Yeah, I feel you. I like that a lot. Another good point I thought Tyson had about talking about all these Muji moves. I'm a really big fan of like the 1 and 2 year deals. I'm super happy about Demario Davis coming in this year. Sherwood gets a lot of grief, but I'm pretty sure he was 7th or 8th leading tackler last year. And I think
they were that was just because the D line didn't get any push and like someone had to make the tackles.
That's valid. I think he's still a very fast tackling machine. I'm gonna remain high on him until at least we get rid of him. I think Demario Davis is gonna be a great veteran leadership voice for him in the locker room, and we are paying him a lot of money, so hopefully Demario Davis does unlock him. And then I just got one more final point here on the team in next season. I know we got a really tough schedule, but I really have a lot of high hopes. I'm super happy about the Parham signing today because it gives us really good draft flexibility that I'm pretty excited about. We're not forced to take a guard at potentially 16 or 33 right now, so I really love that signing by Muji. And I think he could even have a better year this year. I think that Raiders O-line last year it might have made him look worse on the stat board than he actually is. And lastly, I know that our schedule looks pretty brutal, but I don't know. I think one of our biggest problems last year was Fields is just holding on to the ball way too long and eating sacks. And I really think that affected our pass blocking grades on some of our offensive linemen. But I really do think we have the potential to be a top 10 rushing offensive line this year. And if Geno can get the ball out quick and not hold on to the ball, we might have a little bit better of a season than I think a lot of us are intending. And living here in Kansas, I just want to win football games. I'm sick of losing. I get roasted by all my Chiefs fans or friends. It's just not cool. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll take the rest off call, Jake. Jets, Jets.
Derek, I hope one day the Jets could have some sort of run like the Chiefs have had. I'd take half their run. Oh, my God. If you think about it, before Mahomes, though, the Jets and Chiefs were very similar franchises. The Jets won Super Bowl III. The Chiefs won Super Bowl IV. Neither had done anything, had been back to the Super Bowl since until Andy Reid showed up, and then he got Patrick Mahomes. Changed everything. Unreal. Got time for one more call. We got the raffle. So if you want to enter to win a signed Geno card, gift a membership. Also, when you do that, you also enter the weekly raffle series. Name It sign helmet, Klecko sign helmet, Garrett Wilson sign helmet. And I spent some good coin on this one. Can't wait to give this away to one listener. Kevin Mawai signed jersey with the Hall of Fame inscription in there as we pay homage to another Jet great. I hit the mute button on me by accident. One last call before we wrap. Ladies and gentlemen, stop what you're doing and get close to the camera.
I've got my eye on you. Checkmate me, full screen. It's fireball, whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Hi, Jake.
David T.
Always on the lane train. Did they get any nicer than him?
He's one of the greats.
Yes, sir. So anyway, you kept the fort down with your show through a depressing season, and I find that in the last month or so, the Jets have become interesting again. And you and Tyson were talking about the quarterbacks, and Geno Smith, very serviceable. If they bring Andy Dalton in, that would be kind of good. You know, not that they would have to use him, but I think offense, you know, he's a good passer and all that. And, you know, so if hypothetically, if they finish with 7 wins, it's going to be interesting to see in the aftermath. If they end up with 3-4 wins, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the aftermath. So I think it's going to be a different next year than last year. It's going to be interesting, and you know, I'm getting positivity back, Jake.
You're always positive, David.
Yeah, for the most part, yes, sir. I'm not, like I said, the devil on my shoulder. I'm just not very positive about Aaron Glenn. I don't know. It's just my opinion if I should try to rally behind him, this year, or just let the chips fall where they may and see what happens. But, his fate will be determined this year,
David, you're the man. And let me say, the brows look tremendous today.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, David T.
I got my Iron Uji. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I have to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
David T, everybody. I said that was going to be the last call, but I have a super chat to hit from Big Country who says, looks like a dead chicken PBM in reference to Mike's tattoo. Big Country, thanks for your super chat contribution. All right, Amanda Madison called in. Amanda, make it quick because I still have to get to the raffle here. And we can't hear you. Come on.
You hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Sick.
Good
The
job.
only thing to say is based on the moves being made is I'm doubling down on 2027. So please go buy your March for Arch Asman merch store. And I think they're going to sell like hotcakes. Get one while you still can. And that's all I have to say for today.
That's well said. And shout out to Nicholas Russo, who bought a shirt that is exactly like the one you just showed, Amanda. He bought a March for Art shirt this afternoon.
All right, it's a great shirt. It's very comfortable, wonderful material. I suggest everyone acquiring one.
You know what? I don't regret taking this call. Well done, Amanda.
That's what I'm
Ladies
here
and
for.
gentlemen, let's go. March for Arch, jakeasman.com if you want to get a shirt. All right, we have the raffle to get to. I'm finishing the process of counting all the names for everyone who qualified for the Geno Smith rookie card. If you win, you got to just send me your address and your full name via email, and I will make sure that it gets to you. I am just about done counting the names. They're all on the wheel. And now we need to bring on our master of raffle ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to say hello to for the final time too.
I got gas right now. The second side of the ribs are already browning up as we speak. I already put the good shit on the second half of it. I'm going to be taking those in tomorrow because I got blood work first thing in the morning. Right here. That's where it's going to get done. And then I have to wait 72 hours because that's what I was told. See, doctors, they always tell you this too. Once you get the blood work done, you gotta wait a couple days because they gotta take care of all business and all other VIA personnel, etc., etc., etc. That's the way the medical field works. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. Everything has a purpose of who, what, where, when, why, how. Bang!
All right, can we get to the raffle beast? I've been doing this for 2.5 hours.
All right, as I'm about to say, now it's time to spin the wheel of champions. Let's go. Let's spin that wheel of champions, shall we? Shall we?
I know that I'm on.
Not this jerk again. Get this joke off out of here. He is
It's
a
time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Man, StreamYard was just glitching there. I didn't mean to put Gary on with Peace one last time. Or did I? All right, we got a Geno Smith rookie card to give away. But first, our last entry comes from Mike Dems at the buzzer. Mike, you're in the raffle for one. Good luck. I got you accounted for here. All right. Good luck to all. This is just for this show today. And Steven Stoll, I got your super chat before the show even began. So I put you in for this one. So thank you for that. All right, here we go. Good luck to all. Only one can win. AsmanJake@gmail.com if you are the winner. The winner of the signed Geno card is... the man who just gifted a 10 spot of channel membership, Cisco Lopez, is your winner. He's in the chat. Cisco, shoot me an email right now, and the Geno card is yours. Let's go.
Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets. Let's go, Jets.
Cisco Lopez, the raffle winner of this signed Geno card this afternoon. All right, we have to now crown an Asmaniac Madness round of 64, 3 versus 14 matchup winner. And was there any doubt, ladies and gentlemen, with 79% of the vote, the Lane Train advances to the next round. Lane defeats Jams 79-21. 625 votes were cast. Congrats to the Lane Train. Does he even know he's in the tournament again? He is advanced to the next round. Here's your look at the bracket. We haven't updated it because Gator's on vacation with Rat Diddy, as you saw earlier when he called in from Vegas. But Ricky defeated Jets Johnny earlier. So Ricky advances, Lane advances. Those two will meet in the round of 32. Tomorrow on the show in the morning, it's Chef Kevin versus the Hamburger and Neil versus Southern Jed in the afternoon. So we got two great matchups that are set to come your way on the morning show and the afternoon show. So be ready because it is going to be a lot of fun with those two squaring off in the morning. And then our guy Neil up for the task against Southern Jet in the afternoon. On that note, thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to both guests today, a double guest show. So much Jet content to discuss. Had to bring in the heavy hitters, Jeff Parles, and of course to Tyson Rouch. You guys are the best. JETS, 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 Jets. DT's on the show tomorrow, and Beningo's on in the morning. So how about a little back-to-back, belly-to-belly? Enjoy.
It's up to you, New York, New York.
Marcelino McCrary Dill.
All right. Me? Just hanging around.
Face the other direction.
So you see my ass?
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Good.
What are you doing?
Huh?
You guys win.
Alex says Charles was better. I forgot we got Gorman to do that too.
Gorman didn't use his legs.
Oh.
I'm reading the comments. They're all positive.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.